Hi, YouTube. Kareem Zamir, Seekers of Galanti, Second Wake, episode 49. I'm going to keep saying it in a question mark and fix it in post. Yes, hi, folks. I think I'm going to handle what happened last time because it's going to be a bumpy ride. When we last left our heroes, they were welcomed into Nymeria under the pretenses of someone may or may not being a criminal. Under those kind of effects and kind of discourses and that thereof, the group waited, leveled up, accomplished a great many things, and from accomplishing a great many things, finally got to meet with a representative of the Nymerian Council, the hand of the council and current head of the treasury, a certain nobleman of great renown and stature, simply known as Sir Dawnseeker, a once previously betrothed member of Elven noble society who sought to unite the Dowan Vey and Dawnseeker clans, and seemingly was pretty cool with it when Velithil decided instead, I'm going to go do the adventure thing with the necromancy and spoopy boys. Come to find out, not as cool as we thought. In fact, very not cool. Had told everyone that it was a criminal offense and more or less has been perpetrating that story for quite some time. After a heated, emotional, and good, healthy discussion about the kind of stakes in Nymeria and the world at large, an offer was made to effectively sign over the various accounts leading to the Dowan Vey family that is kind of owed to Velithil instead of her father, as well as kind of agreeing to a number of things that are current common knowledge or sought to be common knowledge within the city of Nymeria, more just kind of like legal jargon and loopholes. And yes, after that discussion, Velithil and her witnesser, a JJ Lightning, who we learned the first name of, but I won't spoil here. Go watch the episode. That's right, YouTube. Rewind, go watch it. We got the first J out of 2. Who knows if we'll get the second one ever. Yo. Oh, the first name is Judge?
It's Judge.
It's Judge?
I can only imagine what the second one is.
It's Judy. It's always Judy. If it's not Judge Judy.
Dread with a silent J.
Oh, it's but it's like DJ Dread. Like it's like the Dread. So yes, super cool thing to look out for. Yes, as they began to sign, we ended as the noble lord handed back Velithil her family signet ring and advised her that, of course, her signature and that of her witnesser is no good without her family's crest pressed upon it for what could be the very last time. So that is where we last left. Very emotionally deep and stressful situation, and we're going right back into it because you just got to push that knife.
First.
Oh, okay, all kinds of questions. We had a week. We're doing questions now.
Sure my brain and understanding is in the right place for a couple of things.
Sure.
So even though it was an arranged marriage, I had every right to turn it down, regardless of who it was, right?
At the time, yeah, that's what you're told.
Okay. And currently, I am the matron of the Dowan Vey family. Like, it didn't fall at all to my father. It's all in my hands at this time.
Correct. Yeah. In a manner of speaking, provided that you would step forward as that role, it would be an empty role for you. But yes, the way that things work in Nymeria is in a predominantly matriarchal society, in which ownership of house and title, much in the way you would see in many kind of patriarchal societies, such as kings and princes, the queen can only hold provided the next heir is not in line. The same holds true in Nymeria. If the head of the household, being the mother, the provider, the life creator of the household, is no longer available, the burden of such falls to the firstborn daughter of the family.
And is there any... There probably isn't. I'm going to ask. what about concepts of like having a steward or like a proxy if you are away?
So that is, in essence, what is attempting to be made here. As a tertiary, the person who is on the listing for the 3 documents you have, as your effectively like caretaker of your estate, your wishes, your final edicts, as the matron of the Downvey family and all their lands and title and such. Currently listed on there is your father, and then following would be Dawnseeker.
That's not stewardship though, because it's handing it over, right?
Oh yeah, this is full like takeover.
Yeah, so.
Handing a stewardship over would require somebody having to live in Nymeria and be championed as a steward of the family.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And no, we can't have Vasler be your steward, as much as he'd love to.
This is bullshit.
I know, I'm sorry. There's an edict somewhere in Nymerian law that demons can't hold chairs in court anymore. They tried it out for a couple gens. It was all wackadoo. Turns out demons live about as long as elves, if not longer. It was just a big mess. Yeah. They're in court trying to make side hustles. It's just not. You effectively turned it into like an inner city school, and the crime rate went way up, and demonic pacts were through the roof. People are playing card games like crazy. It's awful.
But he has a doctorate.
He does have a doctorate, but he's not a PhD.
Okay. All right. Let's get into it.
All right.
So I take the ring from him.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of look it over with a bit of realization of like what I'm doing. This is ridiculous. I have had and still have every right to deny any proposal or arranged engagement that our parents made. And my family has already suffered the ramifications of not just the story that you've told everyone, that I ran away from this, causing such harm to your standing in character, but also this is my right in my family, and I'm not letting you just have it.
I do believe there is a touch of misunderstanding here, Velethil. I am only here at the behest of your father.
Yet you stand the most of benefit from all of this. You have all of this time.
Of course I have
10
time.
years, you ascended to leadership in the treasury and the hand of the council?
Yes. Well, technically I was already a steward under the previous hand of the council, and when they moved onto a open seat, I then, of course, made a number of political moves that did see a profitable exchange for me, yes. But, Velethil, again, I am simply here as a emissary of your father. A man who calls Nymeria his home, and currently as the primary echo from the Elderwin, is an individual who is a pillar of our community. and often, I'm sure you can understand, finds himself at odds and lacking allies at times. My family has always been close with the Dowenvey members, and as such, I have never once lost hope that there would be an agreement and a welcoming, friendly hand betwixt our two families.
Why the entire deception of me running away?
Well, simply put, once the birds start chirping your name into the mud, there is very little that can be done to prevent such a thing. The idea that two noble families were openly in discussions for an arranged marriage to suddenly, well, fall apart, would of course invite a number of questions, intrigue, and suspicion, both on the Dawnseeker fortunes as well as the Downvey. With that, and your mother's ascension to Elderwind and your father's prominent role as the Echo, it was an agreed-upon thing between your father and I that this would be the story we would perpetrate. That way, both names could be kept out, in a sense. You would be, in essence, using your name to protect the good name of two stapled houses here within Nymeria.
I can't agree to what's written here.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Would you be willing to change some of this?
If it were up to me, I would change everything about it, Velithil. I truly would. But I did not pen a single word. Your father. And if you examine this document, you will note that it is completely written in his handwriting. All three documents in their essence. Again, I am the hand of the council. I am a shoulder by which I can burden many things for those who are above my station. But to go against them is not something that I am at large or liberty to do. We all have our roles to play, Velithil.
Proposing an alternative is not even an option?
Certainly, if there's something you wish to pen while under the custody of the Nymerian Guard, you are more than able to. Again, we would be back to the circular talk that your friend has already proposed here, your chittering one,
Yes,
in
I
waiting
know
for
I'm
your
trying
father.
to.
I do understand our people are accustomed to waiting for what we want in life and truly biding our time for as long as it may take until hopefully we see results that are in accordance with what we want. But in this instance, I do not think your friends have that benefit.
Why can I not have someone act as an ancillary and not give up everything?
Well, I, again, am not the one who penned these words here. Simple to say...
That leaves me waiting again.
Do an insight check.
Sure, go right ahead. What'd you get?
Same for JJ.
Sure, go ahead and roll it.
It's a solid 8. He definitely did not write them, so.
Yeah, no, it doesn't seem like it.
It's a nat 20.
Nat 20? Okay.
Yep.
JJ, you know that there is a bulk of truth. This is a very practiced statement. He's clearly been prepared to say this for as long as this was going to be addressed. You get the sense that you, again, are dealing with a politician. This is an individual who can lie through his teeth and smile while stabbing someone in the back. It's just a different kind of world and mindset. With a natural 20, you get the feeling that there is truth in his words, that he didn't pen these documents. But you also can't imagine a world in which he didn't at least have some advisement on what was listed here. So in essence, everything he's saying is true, but you definitely have the insight enough to know that there's no way that all of this would kind of line up as nicely as it is if he didn't have a little bit of input, if not a lot of input, on what went into this.
Question.
Yo.
So, where does the right fall stronger with my ability to, like, as matron of the house, to rewrite a contract as I would please versus the Echo's ability to control all houses? I'm confused.
The Echo is, in essence, a role that is one of the highest akin to, like, a religious figure or interpreter of the will of the gods. The way to look at it in Elven culture is the Echo is kind of closer to what you would assume to be kind of like the Pope for religion. It is less a person of like not just like by religious context or by prophetical prowess, but a leader of an organization. In this instance, it is someone who is legitimately an interpreter of the will of Elderwind, which again in Aurelia, while Nymeria is the capital city, Elderwind is the actual ruling capital for the elves. It is what they consider to be their base of power, where all the best and brightest of elven culture and creation exist.
I get that, but I mean, like, in this particular, like, if it's my right as head of the family at this point, shouldn't I be able to write up whatever contract I want? Like, where does the check and balance lie there? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
You're kind of in like a bit of a catch-22, because in essence, had you stayed, your mother disappeared to Elderwind or was brought off, and you were anointed and brought forward publicly to be the head of the Dow and Vey family, then yes, you would be the matriarchal list. But you've been gone for 10 years. So as far as everyone outside of this jail cell knows, your father has been the head of household already. He's already been proclaimed and making moves as leader of your home. And without any way to confirm or find your whereabouts, that's what this is. Much of the documentation in front of you is more or less just filling in the legal stopgap so that people, if they dig or ask questions, there is documented proof that this is all in accordance with the will of both you and your mother.
Okay, but still, like, if I don't sign these,
sure,
I've right to be free of this cell to go and arrange things however I please then in Nymeria.
Depending if someone actually believes you, yeah. That's the issue. The issue is that everyone in Nymeria believes that you are a runaway bride. And there is nobody in Nymeria that doesn't think that's the truth right now. So, yes, should you publicly have an accord and the powers that be recognize you as a noble leader of your family, then yes, you are entitled to a number of things. As it is currently right now, you are in a jail cell where only a handful of guards, a nobleman, and likely your father know that you're actually in here.
Yeah.
And it's also, again, the idea that a religious icon is the one handing down these proclamations, according to Dawnseeker.
Yeah, I don't like any of this.
Correct. Welcome to Backstory Horribleness. Hi,
yeah. I don't know what to do now.
JJ's just gonna lean over to Vel and kind of whisper, I understand how important your life here and your family is. You'll always will have a home with us. But if you need to take care of this, I totally understand. This guy gives me the heebie-jeebies.
I don't know
But
how long this is going to take care of.
That's understandable.
I don't.
Do you need a moment to think, Vel?
I need another week. I need infinity. Like, I don't know what to do here.
That's absolutely fair. Yeah, we'll give it a minute. Cutting over from this, so you have time to think. You guys consider what your next step is. Back outside, as we've waited weeks at this point, just outside of Nymeria, a bit southward, right before the bend in the Great Nymerian Forest, there sits a rather curious inn, a two-story inn, where nothing seems to quite sit right, and nothing seems to quite have any type of, well, delightfulness to it. Inside of the inn, there are a number of welcomed faces, hunters of various regards, and rather curious things that undergo and partake in the day-to-day affairs of those who live adjacent to the capital. With that, we see Deepwind Side now sitting for the last few days, composing himself, and overall trying to find a way to break into the Nymerian prisons that have entrapped his friends and lead a daring crusade against these elven captors. Is a very familiar I want to say penguin, just because it's you're drilling me, you bastard. No, a very familiar purple kobold named Jones, or Jonesy to friends, who now stands outside of the kind of innkeeper's area, looking over a rather familiar-looking elf who is overly apologetic in how he didn't believe this individual for quite some time. Kobold Jones.
Well, actually, right now I am Goblin Jones.
Oh, true, Goblin Jones. I do apologize. As you've invoked your otherworldly visage and vision of being Orville.
Well, actually, I am Gumbo Lee Judd.
Are you doing Gumbo? We're sticking with Gumbo?
That's what I wrote in the book.
Oh my god, Gumbo Lee Jones. All right, we're doing it. We're keeping it.
Lee Judd.
Lee Judd?
I'm Orville's brother.
Oh my god. All right. So
Brother Gumbo.
Here within Nymeria's nightcap, this kind of purple and muted blue-hued inn, you stand before the innkeeper, who has just allowed a very muddy and downtrodden friend of yours into the back to wash up and clean himself of the filth and dirt that was thrown upon him when he was ejected from the Nymerian capital. Kobold Jones.
Now,
Sorry.
one thing I want to
Goblin.
say, because we left, in my opinion, on a cliffhanger
Mhm.
with the Adventures of Kobold Jones,
This is true. This is
is
true.
that I just dropped the bomb and said that, nobody ever trusts a kobold, but I'm in goblin form.
Correct.
Yeah. So
And I
I
will
don't know what.
let you know that your elven innkeeper is not trained in insight and is not very good at reading people and is very trustworthy as far as for over trusting other individuals as much as they are able to.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's Oh, hang on. Yeah, it's no big deal. I It happens to me all the time.
You you see them again kind of straighten up. They're still wearing their kind of purple and blue innkeeper outfit. Alphaeus kind of looks to you and stands a bit more straight, more prominent. Goes, no, I feel that I must apologize to you, Mr. Goblin. I did not want to believe that Bartholomew was in the area, and I didn't want to believe that they were even still alive. So truly, I must thank you and welcome you as a member of the Iridan household. You're free to keep the key you have to the room upstairs for as long as you might need it. No charge.
Well, I appreciate that, and no offense, because I love Buddy with all my heart, but please don't let anyone know that I'm part of the Iridan family.
Oh, no, of course. I only in the sense that I would treat you like a kin, sir. I would, of course, treat you in a manner befitting a much smaller, trustworthy brother of mine. I would not push you into the creek if that is what this is to mean between us, but I would not ever dare suggest that you should also be banished from the capital and be unavailable to hold title or tithe or lands within the areas surrounding Nymeria, specifically an area attributing to about a half mile, maybe exactly on the dot, where you might build an inn one day. If I were to just say something.
I very much appreciate that. And, I'll offer that hand of help too while I wait for my friends. Now we got Buddy here, and, we'll just kind of hang out for a while until things blow over with my friends, hopefully.
Yes, hopefully indeed. I am not sure what business they have in the capital, but truthfully, the best and brightest minds that are all in Aurelia do find themselves within the capital, and especially if you are working with the guard there, they are most agreeable, I'm sure. You hear kind of like a groggy groan, and then the door to the back room opens, and in a very ill-fitting, like, borrowed shirt and pants, to where it's kind of like, it's one of those button-ups, and maybe this is just a big guy thing, it's one of those button-ups that, like, the chest fits really tight, so then when you raise your arms, it's belly city. You see Bartholomew kind of walk out of the back, a kind of like helmet in hand, and the strange floating kind of feathered blade drifts in from behind him, and he goes, "Oh, Mr. Son? I think we're going to go with Son. My boy.
Hey, Dad.
It is so very good to see you, my dear friend. I am at a bit of an odds here. I should have believed you, and I think you were right, and for that I humbly apologize."
Hey, Mr. Innkeeper, I should probably come clean with you. My name is not Gumbo. As much as I love the name Gumbo, my name is actually Kobold, and I will shift back into
snapping of bones and cracking. A few heads kind of turn in a direction, and in the few seconds it takes you to kind of shapeshift back in, a few like wandering eyes kind of just like drink heavily. Again, mostly hunters stay here in like half elven people who are no longer welcome to Nymeria proper, like bounty hunters and the like.
I'm gonna give him the stink eye. Like,
Me.
what are you looking at? This is between me. Can't you see I'm vulnerable right now?
Vulnerable. I'm letting my heart out. Go ahead and give me an intimidation check against these like smattering of hunters and would-be highwaymen in the Nymerian area. Nymeria's nightcap.
That's a 13 plus 0.
13 plus 0 from the most intimidating kobold. We're just gonna do a room check. We'll do a vibe check. Cool. So that's a 4. I'm having an emotional time right now. You scream at them, you bark at them, and you see a few of them like, oh shit, and like a few of them like that are like closer to you. And again, this is a whole like dining room in opened area. You're at the front desk, and this is like back of the room near the fireplace. A few of them that are even on like the orbiting chairs of their table closest to you get up and kind of scooch on over. And he's like, "Hey, do you want to be a little closer? Yeah, we'll just cozy up to our cards. I'm not afraid of him. No, I've killed all kinds of stuff." And they get a little bit more chummy. And they seem kind of shaken. You turn back, and both of the Iridan brothers look at you, and both of them are terrified. They're just like, "Please, don't hurt anyone, Mr. Son Jones, Orville, whatever you want to call yourself. Please, no violence needs to happen this day." Here, yes, sir, please, if you might be so kind, just no violence in my inn. I can ill afford to fix chairs and tables.
You know what? Don't even worry about it. I would never fight someone in your inn. I would take them outside and then beat them up. But that doesn't happen.
No,
They just
that'd be great.
avert their gaze.
Oh,
And I'll look back at them and do like one of these numbers.
yeah, you see a few of them, like, you definitely see, like, one guy in the back, like, flexing, like, "I kicked his ass, da-da-da." And when you turn back and, like, stare at him, I mean, he's like, I'm like, "I go next," and, like, throw some chips into the middle, like yeah, throwing some coins and stuff into the middle of their intermittent betting that they're doing. But you definitely get the vibe that, like, there's a few people that are, like, trying to save face, and they're just not anywhere close to that. So yeah, easy as easy does. Both of the brothers look to you though, and Bartholomew looks to you and goes, "Yes, so Jonesy, I am delighted to say that all of our friends are in premier care. They are being fed. They have a private cell that is very spacious. I was to believe that help was arriving in the very near future to discuss and work out the logistical matters regarding our capture or surrender. I'm not quite sure how that will play out in historical facts, but we'll put it down as like a infiltration of Nymeria. I think that sounds more romantic."
Pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. No, it was pretty cool. Like, you should have
Under the
seen...
guise of Claire Piercer.
What?
No, that was your like pseudonym was Claire Piercer.
Oh, yes, my fake name. Yes, I was Claire Piercer. You see his brother kind of look at him and go, "I would never consider you to be a Claire." He goes, "Well, it was the name that I thought of to be elven, but more ruined by the world." He's like, "Oh, okay. Well, if you put it that way, it does sound a bit more badass than I'm used to with you, Bartholomew." He goes, Yes, I thought so as well. Thank you. But yes, Jonesy, there I was, talking the talk, walking the walk. Someone cracked wise about someone else's mother, and I said, "He sure said that thing about you." And I pointed him out in the yard once. But thankfully there were bars separating us, so I couldn't get beaten up. So that was very good. Unfortunately, the captain who currently runs the jail in Nymeria remembers me and has lost family to the conflicts in Ilzer. So I was a bit roughed up and sent on my way in accordance with my banishment. So here we are, and here is where you are. So overall, I think we just wait this out. Maybe, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 years. We could go into business together. Maybe like Claire and Jones Claire, and we could be like a duo, and maybe we could go on wacky adventures while we wait for everyone to go through the elven bureaucracy. Yeah, that's how I imagine. How do you imagine it, Jonesy?
Well, I think we should just hang out here, and then I could be like the mysterious and like sexy, like in hand that could like fix all the stuff that goes wrong, and then like kick people out when they do like bad things because I'm big and strong,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then like yeah, and then you'll be here too, and then brothers united, and it'll be so romantic, not in a like sexual way, but like in like a really fun, like, oh, this is awesome, dramatic way, and then like we just stay here until I die, and then you're just alive for another like 300 years after that.
Oh, 300. That's funny. What, am I going to die to stubbing my toe?
Hey, you might. I almost died before doing that.
Wait, really? And you see, like, immediately, like, the smile fades. He's like, no, seriously, you can die from that? I stub my toes all of the time.
Yeah, be careful, man. That toe is connected right to your brain.
Give me
I would know. I'm a doctor.
Give me a deception check. You have advantage because Buddy unfortunately trusts you.
And I'm also trained in medicine, so
You're
I am
a piece
like
of
sort
shit.
of a doctor.
I'm a doctor.
The good news is, with advantage, I got a 9 plus 0.
Okay, cool. We'll roll for Buddy. Buddy actually gets a natural 20 and looks at it and goes, I'm not going to call you a liar, sir, but I don't think that's entirely true. He goes,
Yeah, I just made that up. But, you know,
okay.
one time I stubbed my toe so bad I threw up, so.
Oh, that's pretty bad. Yeah, I've been there before.
I
I
thought I
scuffed
was
my knee
gonna
a while
die.
back, and that was really bad.
Yeah, I felt like I was dying. But,
Well,
you know,
okay.
I did.
You know, good that no one died. Yes, no, I think that would be fine. Yeah, you might not make it, honestly. Maybe we should start looking into, like, I mean, we keep talking about it being romantic, but maybe we should start looking for, you know, local dragon folk in your area. Like, we could maybe find someone to sire some hatchling. Are they hatchlings? Do you hatch? I don't entirely profess to know how kobolds work.
That's okay. It's not a big deal. But here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
Could you see me with kids? Like, is that a thing that you think is wise that Kobold Jones has kid? I'll punch a kid in the face. You know, my kids will be just destroyed.
Well, I mean, if the kid's an asshole, I think that's pretty fair.
He's gonna be my kid.
Oh, then definitely, you could probably punch that kid.
Yeah, I don't know my own strength sometimes, and
That's
it's
true.
just a whole bad thing. I don't want anything to do with kids.
But you'd be the same height, just about. I feel like that would really work to your advantage.
It'd be terrible. You know how bad it was with more than one Kobold Jones already.
Oh, it's pretty horrific, yes. No, but I'm already living that nightmare, so I've just decided, you know, make peace with it and smile, and hopefully that'll move everything through.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm good to stay here. I'm not gonna abandon my friends. I can't abandon Celeste or Orville. So, you know, we'll stay here until they're released, however long it takes.
Just those two in particular? Those are the only ones you can't abandon, Mr. Jones?
Yeah, fuck all those other schlubs. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm
those
standing
are the two.
right here. Like, I feel like I'm part of the group.
Wait, you're the one that's gonna be here with me for the rest of my life. What are you talking about? You're like,
I feel like
that makes you number one automatically.
Wait, I'm number one to you?
I mean, right now, yeah.
So, like, just so we're clear, it's Bartholomew Iridan, Celeste, Orville, everyone else in the group.
Well, it sort of depends. You know, there's a situational aspect going on here. Right now, in this very moment,
Yeah.
Bartholomew Iridan, number one. However, once Celeste shows up, demotion. Once Orville shows up, demotion. But after that, I mean, then we're good. You're number 3. I mean, top 3, it's pretty good, right?
I can't help but feel a bit like I'm your mermaid, in a sense. Like, you've gone out to sea alone, and since I'm the only one who wants to still be your friend, you're just placating me until someone better comes along.
There's definitely an element of that. I'm gonna give you that, buddy. You know, you see right through me. But
Mm-hmm.
You know,
So if
as
they,
far as when we started out in this whole situation,
Mhm.
I want to be straight up with you. I hated your guts, and I
Wow.
really, really desperately wanted to kick your ass.
We're just letting it all on the table here, I see.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
But you know what, buddy? I love you, man. I'm gonna go in for a hug.
He like sees you going for the hug at like his like upper thigh, because he's still like 5'10", and kind of like leans over. And goes, I was not expecting a love moment. Okay, yes, and like leans down and goes, I tolerate you too, Mr. Jones. You're the
I'm gonna snap up at him.
7th best person.
Say the L word, buddy.
You
I'm
know,
gonna grab my
I think somewhere in my brain I can't lie to you, so I like you immensely, more than 99% of the rest of the population of the world. If I had to put together a top 7 people I've ever interacted with, you might be on that list.
This is bullshit.
I would need like 10
I just
years.
professed my heart to you, and you're gonna treat me like this? I'm gonna storm off.
Oh, no, Mr. Jones, please don't. Oh, damn. It's good to see you, brother. Like as like Colville Jones walks off, you see the two elves kind of look at each other. They have like almost a mirror moment, and you kind of look at them and like, other than kind of like just the familiar looks, Alphys like kind of like seems a bit more broad-shouldered, a bit more like head up, like less craning of the neck, less like kind of beaten down by society, and more just like prominent. So even though they're probably closer to twins, Bartholomew still seems a little bit shorter and smaller and lankier in the kind of shadow of his brother. But the pair of them kind of like go back and forth and chat a bit before he goes, oh, well, thank you so much. I'll be back. Lunch? We should do lunch. Yes, lunch would be good. And like chases after you, goes, Mr. Jones, I'm sorry. You know what? I would put you in the #1 group that I love. Definitely. I love the heck out of that group you're in. And he like tries to find things to get around having to lie to you about his current mental state of where you're at. So yes. So we'll cut from Jonesy still being alive back to our hot and heavy, intense prison scene. Back within the prison, folks. You have the documents laid in front of you. You have a number of hefty decisions to consider. What's the topic on the floor? Questions, comments, concerns? Take all the time you need.
Just for shits and giggles.
Yes.
How is JJ's spiritual soul mental connection to Vasler currently?
Currently, every so often, you get this like floating idea or feeling that it'd be really funny to pants one of the guards. And every so often, you get this like lingering thought entering into your mind of like, wouldn't it be a gas to start putting spiders in people's hair when they're asleep? And just like all these like very petty, maniacal, kind of like horrible things that might happen to Mr. Wilson on any given day. You're definitely getting some Dennis the Menace thoughts intruding into your mind. So you can only assume that Vasler and this demonic connection you have transcends the magical need that is suppressed by the various kind of restraints that you all have been kept in.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course. Anything you need to contact the demon for?
I'm thinking about something.
I can cue up the soundtrack to Don't Be a Menace if you would like. We could do this. It's a great movie. Or the Jerk. Any of those films. But I won't cue up Airplane's soundtrack because I'm pretty sure I'd be copy stricken into the sun.
So quick.
Oh yeah, super quick. like the top hits from the year it came out. They had a budget for that film, which is shocking. But yes. Have we reached a decision? Do we need more time? We can take an early break if need be.
No, it's fine.
All right.
Flip the coin, because that's all I can fucking do.
Okie dokie.
With, no other options. Just gonna sign the paperwork.
Okay. So you set about signing the 3 documents laid out on the table. You press your signet ring to solidify the documentation. You follow the instructions there within. With that, you have the Dawn Seeker kind of look over to the rest of you, look over the documentation, allow it to dry, and ink out. And he goes, "You are making a difficult decision, but I personally think it is the hardest decision someone would ever have to make for their family. Velethil, again, as I have stated earlier, I would always look to be your friend here within Nymeria. And if there is anything you and your friends need, please do not be a stranger in that regard. I'm sure one of you, if not you yourself, being as arcane inclined as you are, have means of communication with others. So, if there is something you might need a political favor for, I am at your command in that sense." Then he goes and rolls them up, and you see he produces the scroll tube they came in and puts them away, and looks to yes, JJ.
Has JJ signed those yet?
That's up to you. If Vel's going to do it, she said, but that's up to you. Either you can be the witnesser, or anyone else can be the witnesser. But it does require 2 people to kind of go forward on it.
JJ did say that if Vel signed it, she would. So.
Okay. So following through?
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Things signed as they are. You see the nobleman kind of look you all over and go, "Well, certainly it is good that we can put this terrible business beside us and get all of these confusing moments out of the way. As agreed upon, and as much discussed therein, I would be more than happy to reach into the pockets of the Dawn Seeker Fortune and provide of you all any needs or means that you might need to egress from Aurelia. I know travel expenses can often be difficult to arrange, and from what I was made aware of on your travels, you all were walking, of all ungodly things, through the Red Forest. If there's a perhaps preferred form of travel, we can have arrangements made at the gate of Nymeria upon your release. Is there anything you all might prefer? Perhaps if you're heading to a major city, we could even arrange for an arcane circle of sorts, or preferred method of transportation.
Look, mister, I think I can go ahead and talk for Miss Vel here. But we were just heading back up to Deerwood. Now, if I could step out and of this cell and communicate with one of our folks, or rather a couple of them, so that we can get them with us for when we get a circle up to Deerwood, please.
Of course. I will, well, I can't make... He turns and looks, and he goes, "You," and points to the kind of faceless guard that stands in the hallway, and goes, "We will require a mage of renown to travel with this group to acquire their missing friends. Do you have a description of them? Perhaps we could have them tracked down in your stead or located via divination of some sort.
I mean, if I can just give them a little brain zap, I can figure out where they are.
Oh, of course. So you
Just
you'll
find
communicate,
myself.
of course. Yes, of course. Well, then that would be wonderful. I will, upon leaving here, make arrangements so that your release will happen just as quickly as possible, and we will get everything settled there. I will immediately head for my homestead and have my house mage become available to you at the front gates of Nymeria. Certainly, I thank you all for your cooperation and assistance in this matter.
Oh, extra little thing if your mage could also prepare a non-detection spell, or if I could just be provided with a paltry amount of a small amount of diamond dust to cast a spell myself. I would prefer to travel without certain things that like to watch me noticing.
Of course, we will see what we can be provided. Arcane components here are at a bit of a premium, but again, I will spare no expense in assuring your safety in this matter.
One last thing before you go.
Oh,
We're
you.
gonna need that. We're gonna need that baby goat.
The baby goat.
The baby. Yeah, remember? It asked.
No
for,
goats. No
Orville is
goats.
jumping up and down behind her, just shaking his
Doing the
head,
Mario
doing
jump.
his dip.
Yeah, no goats. I'm sorry, Celeste. I don't. No goats. Just for
What's wrong?
Orville's sake. Just
Please.
like no geese, no goats.
So I'm going to just take a census of the room here. Apologies. We're going to say no on the goat.
Guess that's a no on the goat.
Okay, well then, I'm glad that we have come to that arrangement and agreement, and certainly I am happy to see that I have a dear friend in the safety of a powerful person such as yourself, who is an admirer of goats. Great.
To just go now and we'll
I
meet you.
think that would be best. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
He-
Okay.
He kind of like rises from this kind of like floating seat, and his cane snaps into place, and he starts kind of making his way toward the cell door. It swings open, and
Is he floating or walking?
he's not. So he is walking, but this is a person who's trained, and like if you've ever seen people who go through like manners classes or like those horrible like secondary schools, like post-secondary schools, that all they do is like, if you pick up your salad fork with the wrong fingers, we're gonna get you. It's kind of that feel from this guy. Like he's been from birth told that he is to be like a nobleman and crafted and molded to be exactly the picturesque idea of what elves want outsiders and foreign powers to see their their nobility as. So as he's walking, there's no there's no give to his step in a way. He's almost walking like heel and toe, but in a manner that makes it to where he kind of just glides a bit across the floor. You can still hear the very soft placement of his shoes, and kind of like turning in a bit. But he's not floating. He's not like levitating or any of that, like that kind of stuff. He's not like overtly magical in that sense. It's just a lot of poise and a lot of like precise, meaningful movement is all he's really got. That makes sense. I didn't answer the question, but yeah, okay.
DM,
Mm-hmm.
as somebody who happens to be kind of light on their feet, can Orville attempt to discern and maybe understand the movements that this man is making? Just an attempt to maybe copy them later?
A touch. Yeah, give me a... What would that be? That's a question one. You can... I'll dealer's choice. You can do insight or investigation on this one. You can either kind of investigate a bit of like the stature and feeling of it, or you can gain insight into how one might later copy this a bit.
We're going to go with insight, and that's a total of 19.
19? You get the gist of it. You look at it, though, and like it's almost like watching a trained pianist. You can play the piano as well as you can, but until you have those kind of reflexive, beaten into you moments and like feelings and muscle memory, it would be very difficult to kind of get this kind of canter for just a regular person without it looking like you're really forcing it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like certain gymnasts being able to walk on like ballerina shoes and things of that sort. It's just something that you really have to like practice and practice and practice and beat into your kind of like muscle fiber to be good at.
Understood.
But with the right training and a very firm ruler, you too might be able to do that. Anything else before the Dawnseeker leaves? All right. So with that, he kind of calls to the kind of faceless figure that has followed him into this room. The door swings wide to this, and immediately he is rejoined with the Nymerian guard presence. You can hear as the door closes some discussion happening about everything being taken care of and handled, and then it kind of gets muffled a bit as the kind of soundproofing is resealed with the door closing. Over the next minutes or so, you start hearing kind of rustling from outside. A guard returns into your room now that the Lord has left, and kind of informs you all and goes, well, absolute grandest of news to each and every one of you of the Seekers of Gullanti. The Dawnseeker has found you to be able to be released today. And of course, we will escort you outside the border of Nymeria, all intact with all of your items and possessions back in your persons, of course. Yes, so we'll be welcoming to do that. We should have everything ready for your egress in about half an hour or so. Might there be anything you need in the meanwhile?
I wouldn't say no to a second pair of pants. These are mighty comfy.
Oh goodness, yes. I could bring in. What waist are you, sir?
A little bit chubby.
Right. I could see if they would maybe let out a pair. You're a bit more rotund and muscular than our elven children. So we could certainly see about that, sir. I will bring over maybe like a lounge pair of children's pants, and maybe that might work for you, sir. Might anyone else need anything at this present time?
I get an ale. It's been a long morning.
I do not have an ale, but well, I do know that the Dawnseeker left a bottle of wine.
Take that. A bottle.
Of course,
It's on
yes,
him,
I will.
trust me.
Okay, sure. Anything else?
If I could step out of this cell or wherever the anti-magic room is applicable, if I could just contact our traveling companions
Oh, yes.
to meet us outside the gate.
Within a half hour, so we'll have you outside. That way you can make your call and arrangements.
All right.
Of course. And anyone else might have need. Very good, then. So we will have that ready in the half hour for you, and goes and like opens the door and like speaks in Elvish out to the adjoining room. You start hearing like a number of boots stomping around outside, and true to form, within the next half hour, each of you has brought a trunk of your items, clothes and garments. They all tell you that you are able to keep the outfits you're currently wearing, which are still kind of fancy, like surprisingly, as far as for like jail outfits go. You're definitely in like a, it's not so much like we're doing hard time, like you're not going to cut a Dusty Rhodes promo over your time in elf jail, but like you're definitely in like kind of like a, oh, we went to like rich people prison, where like it's like, had we stayed here for years, we probably would have picked up tennis and maybe like a hobby or a skill. But yes, with this, it's kind of like as is. One of the guards looks to you, Orville, and goes, I was told that you wanted a pair of pants, and so I have brought you some. And gives you a small, like, it's kind of like a nice little like weaved bit of like parchment paper that's kind of like it's like reed grass kind of in like a kind of formation, and it's wrapped around, and he kind of hands it to you, and you look, and it's like a very nice pair of like silk trousers for kids. You do look, and on the cuffs there are like little what amounts to like helmet. It's like a pattern of like helmet, badge, like helmet, and it's like this like repeating pattern, and it looks like the kind of pants you might give a child who, like, when I grow up I want to be a guard, because it has this kind of like pattern that would be like, oh, cops and robbers kind of thing, kind of the feeling you get, because we had this for the youth program, and there you are, sir.
Thank you kindly.
Yes, very good. They allow you guys time to redress in your traveling arrangements and kind of like your traveling clothes. The entire time they do kind of keep the shackles on, so you're kind of like stuffing things in and out. Like they definitely give you like the longer chains at this point, but it's just one of those like procedural things you get with any prison or jail in this instance. But yes, time passes and you all are escorted outside of the city. The guard captain meets you at the gates to the city. And after you guys have exited the front gates of Nymeria, the captain personally unshackles each of you and kind of looks you all over and goes, "Now I do not know why you are traveling with the unfortunate dredge that you were, but we do, of course, thank you for your cooperation in this regard. As a personal favor, I would request that you do not give shelter nor comfort to the Eridan. They are a blight upon all living things and peace in our land. You would do well to discard them."
Discard them?
Make yourselves unavailable to their presence. They will only befall misfortune and terrible tidings to you. I know not the business you had here with the Dawnseeker, but I can tell you from a long history lived that that one is not great, we shall say. As a
Why is
parting...
that?
Well, suffice it to say that war and misfortune falls the Iodin wherever it may travel. The captain kind of like snaps, and after kind of like, it's already unchained you guys, all that stuff, a box is brought over and handed to you, Celeste, like presented to you. It goes, "I was also informed that the wine that was given from the Dawnseeker's visit today was to be given to you in particular. The Dawnseeker does regretfully send regards and sorrow that he was unable to provide you, and he said you would know what this means, your goat."
Okay. Thanks.
I'm not quite sure if that's city slang for drugs, but please be clean
Oh,
and do
it
not share
literally-
needles.
Oh, that's gross. First of all, it was a real baby
Mm-hmm.
goat.
Yes, okay. Yes, the baby goat, the greatest of all time. Yes, the baby greatest of all time, of course. Yes, I've heard it many, many years. Just life is worth living, however short it might be for you, young man. We would, of course, thank you so much for your visit, and perhaps practice a bit of moderation. We do know that the sweat set in after a few days of not having your fix, so simply perhaps do your goat far from the borders of Aurelia.
Well, considering the Dawnseeker is the goat dealer, you should probably let him know of the same advice. Because
Oh, I
hitting
will
them
I
goats
will
hard.
inform his father of such things. If he is dealing in goat, I will not stand for it, and I will lead a personal inquisition into his affairs of goat
Good.
dealing.
Oh, you should
And,
definitely
like,
arrest him.
I think you should
Everywhere.
definitely
You
investigate him.
know,
He's
I just-
got some heebie-jeebies.
Some heebie-jeebies. Is that another drug, heebie-jeebies?
Indeed it is.
Oh,
I've done it plenty.
I knew that Dawn
Has
Seeker had too good of a smile.
As a secret,
Mm.
chicken fighting ring.
Chicken fighting ring. That's not a secret. Many people run those here.
What?
Yes.
But goats? You guys are not into goats. Okay. You know what? Thank you for my box.
Wait, like a literal goat?
Appreciate it.
I thought you were talking about drugs this whole time.
We are talking about drugs. What are you talking about?
I'm not sure what we're talking about anymore. Very good then.
Said
Seekers
drugs,
of Gulanti,
investigation.
please send your noblewoman our deepest sympathies and regards. And truthfully, if you can let people know that the gods of Nymeria are the utmost kindness that we can provide to them. Should they have any issues within the border, they can always find a friend within the god stations of Nymeria. We would greatly appreciate that.
Certainly. Which gate is this?
This is the southern gate. This is the first gate with the, and you look and it's like there's a split of a river, 2 large bridges, and then the front gate, like the actual like main gate to the front wall of the city.
Great. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Where is our transport for the circle?
I was made aware that there would be, and looks around, you look over, and you see a kind of like long, well-dressed, cloaked individual with like bright white gloves with patterning across it. And they kind of like walk a bit forward, and you see that their cloak billows as they kind of walk over. And you see as they pull back the kind of hood of this, you see an elven man, rather old, long hair that's been pulled into a very tight, like almost overly tight ponytail. A receding hairline up to about almost the beginnings of like the middle of the head, kind of falling apart at this point. And there is a atrocious looking, like deep chemical scar that runs the length of like the kind of like right side of their face and drains in like a splashing effect across the other side of their face, making them almost look like a red, like they actually have like red skin. But you look at it and it's mostly just this big scar rather than like actual skin at this point. And it's been healed over some innumerable number of years. And they kind of look you all over, and you hear them kind of like speak rather gruffly. You hear "Are you those known as the Seekers of Gulanti?"
Yes, we are.
Oh, well, it is truly a pleasure to be meeting each and every one of you. I have been sent by the Dawn Seeker. I am Dothreden, his house mage.
Wonderful. Thank you. If you could just give me 2 minutes so I can figure out where our traveling companions are, that would be fantastic.
I am in your care until you are safely returned to your home, so take all of the time you need, young one.
Great. So JJ will turn off from him for a little bit, and she'll use 2 sendings.
The guards kind of like all turn, and seeing that you're in care, they all kind of like, thanks again, give us 5 stars, son. And then they like walk away. You hear the doors kind of to the city close behind you.
Cool. First she'll send to Kobold Jones.
Shoot it, he's right here.
Jonesy, hope you're alive. Hope you are somewhere near the Nymerian South Gate. If you can, meet us there as soon as you can. Thank you. And she'll wait first to see if there's a response from him.
Buddy stands next to Kobold Jones and goes, "Look here, Jonesy."
JJ?
No, what? JJ, where is she? Where is she? Please save me from
Is
this
that
moment.
you? Are you a weaver?
Me?
Wait,
No, I'm
it's
I'm
like
Bartholomew,
one of
I'm your
those
friend.
Stupid spell things.
What?
Okay. We are at the Nightcap Inn
Yeah.
and
Is that what it's
Southwest.
called?
Can't get closer. Come get us.
the message stops there.
I don't know how many letters that is. Or how
After
many words that is.
after all the grumbling and groaning, that's well over the word limit. You get to like we're at the nightcap, and it's like kind of sort of in there. Bartholomew looks at you and goes, "Did JJ ascend? Has Miss Lightning become a god?"
Okay, so there's the chance, but while I was having this like moment of
Prophetic vision.
like, yes, exactly. Wow, that was a good word.
Yes.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
I realized that she has that spell that lets her do that. So
Oh right.
here's the
yes.
thing. Here's the thing, though. She could technically have ascended,
Mm-hmm.
and then she's using this with like without spells,
Oh, cool.
or with a boring option is maybe she just used a spell.
True.
Okay.
Great.
Well, then she will not use the second sending because she is going to infer that we means him and Buddy.
Mhm.
Good news, everybody. Kobold Jones is still alive, and it seems
Well, I could
like
have told you that.
well, that's true. Well, yeah, he's alive. Sounds like he might even be with Buddy. So they are at some place called the Nightcap Inn. I have no clue where that is. I think he said southwest. I could be wrong. But yeah, if anyone, Vel, if you know where it is, or if Doth, our new friend.
Do I know where that is?
That's for like really, really, really low society.
Yeah, that's me now.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Now you will know where it is. As a noble-born woman of Nymeria, I don't think you would know where the Nymerian nightcap is.
Now this I just get all this information.
Oh, right. We etch and sketch. We retrain your skills. We take the noble background away. We give you
Yeah,
hermit.
I get the urchin skills.
Oh, urchin. Yeah.
So I'll look to Mr. whatever the fuck his face was. I wasn't really paying attention. Scarred wizard elves. We get along well.
Yeah. Dothoridin.
Would you happen to know where whatever location she just said was?
The Nightcap Inn, sir.
Oh, well, I know the Nymerian nightcap. It is run by a rather unfortunate fellow, but yes, I could lead you as such.
Let's go
Great.
meet up with our friend Celeste. You haven't opened that crate yet. Let's get some wine.
Oh, see, here's the thing. If Jonesy's alive, I'm definitely not opening it until we're with Jonesy.
Oh, okay. Are you going to try and stop me? Because I'm going to drink a whole bottle of that wine.
Yes. Yes, because I am saving it to drink it with Jonesy.
You understand that I can... You know what, fuck it. I cast Hold Person on her.
Oh, shit. Okay. A little intense. Celeste, make a... What is that, a wisdom save?
Yeah, wisdom save.
Wisdom saving throw, Celeste. Go nuts. JJ, you feel a bit of heat emanate from behind your boot. There's like this crackling sound.
15?
Oh, damn it, you made it.
It's a level 7 paladin.
You feel this heat behind your boot, and you see smoke kind of coming out, and you see Sat kind of striding atop this mechanical bear, this very familiar looking demon who has what can only be described as a bit of like guard attire that's been ripped off and like formed into like a raggedy bandana. Goes casting spells on their friends. I always knew you had a wild side, elf. Big fan.
Listen to me, Celeste. I've literally lost everything. I want a drink.
Okay. Well, our friends are right over here, it looks like, sounds like. So we could just meet with our friends and then we could all drink together.
Yeah, let's at least
Right.
get
Oh.
somewhere.
The
You can
way-
maybe give her just a bottle out of the crate, just one singular.
The crate, it's not a crate. It's a wooden box that has a bottle of very fancy wine in it. It's like one of those little like gift boxes you put one bottle in so that you can show up to a party and be like, "Look,
You
I'm
said
providing."
crate, and I thought there was more than one.
Yeah.
No,
'Cause
it's
I
like
wouldn't
a
have done any
a
of that
box
if I had
crate.
any context that there was only one.
It is a gift to the guard captain that was then given to the guard captain and then given to you
Okay,
guys.
whatever. I did all that for no reason. Fuck it, whatever. Just continue.
Okie dokie. Sorry for the confusion. With that, you guys are gonna head out southwest. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe that's what you said, southwest.
Okay. So yeah, easy enough to do. The elf that is provided to you, the elven wizard that's provided to you, is able to kind of give the old kind of like parade wave to many of the guards, and more or less make his way further and further still from the area and exiting of Nymeria. We will have you guys travel for a little inside of about a half an hour to 45 minutes by foot down the road. Quite a distance, but it is enough to kind of clear that half mile to a little over half mile. So as we go ahead and do that, folks, we're going to go ahead and call our break here. It is 8:37. Let's call it 10 minutes. We'll come back at 8:47, and we'll come back with part 2 of tonight's episode here on Second Wake. We'll see you guys after the break. Hope everyone's having a good night, and see you in just a bit. Peace. Hello, everybody. Beautiful people out there in Twitchland. Hi, I'm Kareem Zamir, Seekers Galanti, Second Wake. We're into part 2 of episode 49. The Seekers are freed once more from Elven prison, Elven bullcrap prison, where people suck. I think that's what most of the people will say about it. So yeah, if you're sticking with us, however many people are still... Ooh, one of our community challenges just procced a little thing on my mini feed. The name's too long. Anyway, cool. Crashed and Stranded. Okay, cool. Not finished, is it? No, 75%. Okay, cool. So yeah, welcome back after the break. Hope everyone's having a good time. Lots of drama, lots of investment, lots of emotion. Yeah, as always, guys, if you have to take a break, it does get later on in the evening. Feel free to. We will try to have, by we, I mean me, I'll usually try to have the episode edited and then uploaded Tuesday night. So depending on how early you go to bed, might not be available for you, but Wednesday, hey, it'll be up, available, rendered, coded, all that malarkey and nonsense. So, but for those of you sticking with us for the long haul until the episode is done, we do thank you, you level 20 characters. When we last left, the group had escaped from Nymeria. They had been escorted by the city guard and the captain of the city guard to the front gates. They have now met up with an elven individual by the name of Darthridian, and he is known as the Dawnseeker's House Mage, a master of mysticism and magic at the kind of beck and call of the Dawnseekers, and has been promised to provide both transportation to your destination, as well as some form of anti-tracking or kind of dispersal magic so that you might not be followed or tracked in any particular sense of the name or request. Specifically non-detection to be cast upon somebody. So yes, that is where we were last at. You all have traveled now roughly 45 minutes down the road southwestwardly, and you come into view of a beautiful looking inn, and I mean just absolutely falling apart at the seams. 2-story building. It is a bright blue and purple roofed slant known as the Nymerian Nightcap. Standing outside, you see a very well put together, but like kind of like overly tight shirted Bartholomew stood next to Kobold Jones. As you all begin to kind of like walk down the road, you see Bartholomew kind of like hands behind the back, sword floating behind him, kind of like tilt a bit, and out of the corner of his mouth speaks to Kobold Jones, goes, What do we say to them, Mr. Jones? Do we tell them that we had a grand adventure without them, or perhaps we're best friends now? What do we tell them? Kobold Jones, you're muted. I can't hear a word you're saying. I'll kneel down. You see him kneel down. He goes, What were you saying to me, Mr. Jones?
Is that better? Am I good?
I can hear you now, Mr. Jones.
I will. I'll immediately eye the fancy bottle, and I will go running. Just ditch Buddy and go running for the bottle and be like, "Oh my God! All I have here is wine. I need some whiskey. Thank you so much." And take a big old swig of it.
You're going to break open the box it comes in, out of Celeste's hands. I feel like... All right, Celeste, do you attempt to resist Kobold Jones doing this to the bottle of wine you have so adamantly protected?
What check do you want me to make?
The height check, which is I'm taller than the motherfucker.
Oh,
And you
okay,
just do one of
sweet.
these.
Yeah.
You do the classic Statue of Liberty pose. And this 3-foot asshole goes...
Can I use my new mind powers to bring it to me?
Oh, from your feet. It is technically a held item, so Celeste, you have to make a strength saving throw versus Jonesy's spell save, which is based off his intelligence modifier.
Nope, it's wisdom.
Oh, wisdom, based off his wisdom modifier. Sorry, this is a new thing, and D&D's weird now. There's too many feats. Back in my day, we chose Great Weapon Master. Or like...
You're saying it's a millipede.
It's
D&D is now a millipede.
It's got too many pieces, too many segments, too many books. We're back to the days of 3rd edition when I can bludgeon someone to death with my collection. It's a rucksack. Celeste, what do we get for your strength saving throw?
19.
What'd you get?
Fuck.
19? Oh, okay. Does that beat your spell save DC, Kobold Jones?
Just barely.
All right, yeah. So Kobold Jones sitting at the foot of Celeste, grabby hands like a spoiled child, and then slowly puts 2 fingers to his temple and attempts to steal the bottle with his mind.
He's just gonna punch him in his forehead with her palm.
Oh yeah, palm strike,
Like
just
that.
like
Yeah.
that. Okay. Yeah, just a base palm strike. Just you're not trying to hurt him, are you?
Oh, I'm just trying to tell him not today.
Okay. Kobold Jones, your snout, because you have a long face, is kind of like bludgeoned like a small dog.
Ah, what the fuck?
You see striding
The magic
over,
word.
Bartholomew walks up and goes, "Seekers of Galanti, very good to see you again. Kobold Jones and I," and he reaches down, like puts his hands on Kobold Jones's shoulders, "have been desperately awaiting your arrival, even though I am Kobold Jones's best friend in the whole wide world."
What?
Yep, he said it. I have witnesses
That said what?
that I'm his best friend in the whole world.
Best friend.
Number 1. I was told
Number 1.
top of the list.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Whose list?
Jonesy's list. This list of this beautiful man right here. He starts massaging the shoulders.
Oh gosh.
Best
Well, buddy.
friends forever, you said. And you used the love word, which means that it is permanent.
And you didn't, so you know what?
Well, I don't
I
want to lie.
rescinded.
Oh,
Oh.
you're gonna rescind your love of me? That's rude.
Yeah, well, it just happened.
Well, that breaks my heart. Truthfully, Mr. Jones, I've never been stricken with such whiplash in my life.
But I mean, he's never used the L word when he talks about our friendship. So what
Oh.
you guys have must truly be magical.
He's never used the love word. How curious, Mr. Jones.
That's so weird. Did you have something that he wanted?
Only my friendship.
Ugh. What else? Because that ain't it.
No, that was it. We're in the inn. My brother owns the inn. That's pretty cool.
There it is. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, because there's no way that he used the L word without benefiting at all.
Oh.
See?
You were playing me like a prom date, Mr. Jones.
Well, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Right.
I did mean it, but now I don't, because you won't say it back. So that went really badly. And you know what? Maybe kobolds can love. Okay, Celeste? Maybe that's something that can happen.
I feel like your voice peaked up a little bit when you said her name, Mr. Jones.
It was almost like it was like a question mark, like he's unsure if that's still my name.
No, I
that's
think
still
that's
my name.
yeah. Or are you questioning yourself, Mr. Jones? Perhaps deeply rooted within your soul. You're questioning everything about yourself.
Buddy, let's get back to the more important things, like the fact that your brother is here.
Oh yes, no, he's just right inside. He actually owns this place. We had a beautiful discussion about how my banishment extends to my family. Yes, apparently we've all been branded under the Airden name, so now we've all just been removed from prominence in the area. Yeah.
So you guys are good, because last time
Yeah,
you
no.
mentioned your family, we were in a tight little huddle, and
Yeah. So I'm just not going to bother with it. It's really not as important as I made it out to be. I think I just had a bit of emotion seeing the old place again. So I'm just going to. I don't know. We can go get a table, a couple of drinks, maybe.
could open this nice box.
No, in fact, your group and opening boxes never pans out well. I'm guaranteed. I'm pretty sure that was in a box at one point, and points to the giant metal bear, and that broke my kneecap.
Well, I think I can confirm that it's just wine this time. Hopefully it's not poison, but
Wait.
it's wine.
It's wine? God
It's
damn it! It
wine,
might as well be
Kobold.
poison.
Wine is delightful, Mr. Jones. I don't.
Wine tastes
How?
like trash.
Right.
And trust me, I know what that tastes like.
Why do you eat trash?
We know you'd know.
You don't eat trash?
I've
Who
eaten
doesn't eat
trash
trash?
only to survive, sir.
Orville, you eat trash?
Oh, absolutely.
See, trash is a delicacy.
I feel like I'm in with very strange waters and agreeing. And you've got me on a technicality from being homeless.
How about we just head back to Deerwood?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds
Wait,
delightful.
yeah, we've got this this person with us that's facilitating the transport.
Want to meet Buddy's brother?
Yeah, do you want us to meet your family first?
Oh, it's probably
Perfect,
just
let's
a lot.
go!
No, we probably don't have to do that. Okay, but no, please don't.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, like already walking past, but
DM, as we make this walk, can I shift to Jonesy form
oh yeah, 100%.
and make an insight check as to whether or not I feel capable of love?
Oh, damn, we're asking the hard questions tonight. Jonesy, if you need a minute to facilitate what love is, I have a number of songs from the 80s and 90s that all question what love is, because I want you to show
What
me.
is
Yeah. So Orville, you shift. You hear the bones snapping and crunching as your maw extends out, and you take on the form of this koboldian individual with heavier, denser musculature, and you stand. You immediately stop. Your brain switches from thoughts of bugs and various types of music. A little louder. Various types of insects and things. You feel two hearts beating simultaneously, and your brain is replaced instead with being cool and staying true to yourself and ideas of honor and family in a weird kind of choose your own style. Go ahead and roll insight to see if you know what love is.
Baby, don't hurt me.
Don't hurt me no more.
It's a 15.
15. You're not sure if it's still your goblin heritage, but you can still feel a capacity for love somewhere deep in there. Now, it could be just for treasure or murder, but the capacity for love seems to still be available to you.
Is this warrant insight from Jonesy himself?
No, this is
at that
insight.
level?
This is
Just
Orville.
kobolds?
I mean, he can't peer into your mind's eye. But I mean, nobody's all the way an asshole. You know what I mean? No one's a complete asshole.
Well, here's the real spin on the situation, though.
Oh, okay.
Is that in Jonesy's head, he
Uh-huh.
is not a kobold, and he is in fact a dwarf.
That's fair. Dwarves can feel love. Mostly for ale and violence, but they can feel love. Also, big bearded women. Very large women. So yes, Orville, you very much feel that you have the capacity for love as Jonesy.
Okay.
All right. So yes.
I will pull Buddy aside
He goes,
and whisper in his ear,
yes,
Buddy.
yes.
Kobolds can love. Don't let him fool you.
Oh, my goodness. This is groundbreaking and revolutionary. We should tell no one. That way, it is a secret between friends, Mr. Orville. I regret to inform you, and he puts a hand on your shoulder, that you were only in the top 4. That's right. In the moment, number 1, he put you under Miss Celeste.
he's only known me for like a week, man.
But you're
Top four's
like,
pretty good.
you're like the same, because you've, with the, if you know what I mean?
Yeah. The
Yeah, top 4 is still pretty good.
sword
I'm
fighting
gonna
in the
be
bathroom.
happy with that. I don't really care if that I don't know cheapens you being higher than 4. I don't really care, but
Well, while we're on the
I'm
subject,
happy with it.
so Mr.
I'm gonna
Orville-
go have some wine.
No, Mr. Orville, if we just have
I'm
a
just gonna
moment.
walk away.
Am I in your top 4? You just like you walk up. Ah, damn. And he stands up. Just,
Social media is a curse. Fuck that shit.
yeah, exactly. Buddy wants to be on everyone's MySpace wall. He's like, can you put me in the grid? Can you put me in that like top 4 right there?
He needs to open it so he can start it, so everyone has to be a friend with Buddy to begin with.
Yeah, 100%. Buddy's book. The Buddy is definitely, and again, small sidetrack because I got ADD. If you haven't seen Squid Game already, go watch Squid Game. Main character of Squid Game, everyone's like gearing up for like war. He's the only one who smiles, and I'm like, God, that's Buddy. Like Buddy's the welcome to a horrible death game, and he's like, like just like happy to be there. Like, well, best of a shit sandwich. Let's go. I'm getting 3 square meals a day. This is great. So with that, yeah, you all begin to kind of enter into the inn. For those of you kind of towards the back of the group, you watch as there's kind of like this uneasy moment of Buddy kind of standing there and being like, "Oh, welcome back, Miss Lightning. Welcome back, Morgan. Yeah, so that waving like you're already heading over there. Already waved to that and goes, "Oh, Velithil, good to see you again. Hope all worked out with whatever that is. Yes, and nice to meet you, sir. Oh no." And like goes to shake the hand, this like white gloved hand of this mage, and like you see this like these eyes narrow, and he goes, "Professor Bestia, a pleasure to meet you, sir, again." And he goes, "I have not been a professor in so many years, Iridin." He goes, "Of course you haven't. And the scar is healing up nicely, so that is just the best for you." He goes, "Magic cannot remove this from me, boy." He goes, "No, it doesn't look like it could. All right then, so we're gonna go get beers. Do you want to get a beer with us?" He goes, "Sure." He goes, "Great, grand, okay, well, good to have you along, sir. Good to see you again." And like goes to turn, and you like, for those of you like slightly paying attention, you see the hand kind of like grip really hard on him. He goes, and like you see him pull in and whisper something to Buddy, and Buddy goes from like happy to like like terrified. The hand is released, and Buddy follows the rest of you guys in the inn, and then your mage kind of like follows behind Buddy. But yes, you all enter into the Nymerian Nightcap, a beautiful, for what it is, inn that has a large opening of various tables and things of the sort. You look over the area, and for the most part, it is rather empty for how large it is. Only sat beside the kind of still burning embers of the fireplace are a number of like huntsmen and gambling folk, kind of like highway travelers and things of that sort. Folks that probably call the Nymerian Forest like they're like frontiersmen is kind of the deal of it. Having been inside Nymeria, you know that like while people are permitted within the grounds of the city on business or trade, the people who actually come out here for trade are very like far and few between. So yeah, with that, you see many of them are probably like forest folk and like those who are not so much using this as a place to call home, as many of them probably have homes within the Nymerian Forest and like are like frontiersmen. But more than likely, this is like the only Denny's in a rural area. You know what I mean? Like it's like you get done with a long day of work. It's if you've ever been in like a coal town or like a mining town, it's that one bar that's the only bar in the city. It's the only one you can go to. So that's the one we go to. And many of them are kind of like meh on much of it. You do see in a bright kind of like button up, like a nice clean button up, hair kind of like down behind, like tucked behind each ear, a almost spitting image of Bartholomew, only if he was like less kind of beaten down by the world experiences he's had, and kind of like cleaner health. And yeah, you see this individual kind of finish serving drinks to a number of people, then head back to the front with a large tray. And as like you all start wandering in, there's like a moment of like, I will be right with you. Just a moment. Just a second. And then like as they kind of like get closer, they kind of like take the serving tray and like clutch it to their chest and like grip it on either side and kind of just like look you all over and get that kind of defensive feeling that they're kind of using the serving tray as like a barrier between the outside world and themselves. And they kind of like look you over and they go, oh, I wasn't expecting so many friends, Bartholomew. He goes, oh, yes, sorry. And you see Buddy kind of like wiggle his way past the group and like out of the pack, and goes, oh, yes, these are the Seekers of Galanti. They are the adventuring troupe that I found myself in, and they are tremendous people, one and all. This is, and points to the front and goes, this is Celeste. She is some sort of warrior champion and swings a mean tooth and has destroyed many, many, many enemies in her wake.
My gosh, it's so nice to meet you, and I'm going to immediately hug him.
You go to hug him. Buddy is like shoulder to shoulder with his brother, so you kind of have to hug both brothers if you're going for it. Yeah, you do like the family hug.
Going, like family hug. Yeah.
And he goes, oh, okay, yes, she hugs. Oh, wonderful, hugging. Okay, yes, I have not felt a hug in so many years. Thank you. He goes, oh, well, good for you, brother. Like that. He goes, she gives great hugs. They're very like there's a moment you'll feel, and like you feel popping from like their shoulders because you're like squeezing very tight. There's a moment where you're not sure if you're going to die or just be held forever, and you like slowly release. He goes, then you can breathe again, and then it's fine. Yes, then it's fine after that. And he goes, you see him kind of like nod along, and go, nice to meet you. He goes, oh yes, and here in front, the Kobold. You've seen this trick already. Actually not. You've technically met him, but you've not met him. That is Mr. Orville. He is very proficient with his hands, both for removing life from people and administering life to people. It's very, it's like miraculous. I would say he's probably a doctor or something. I'm not. Mr. Orville, are you a doctor? I've never actually asked.
I'm not. It's a delicate balance is what it is. And with that, he will shift form back to a goblin.
You're cracking and breaking, your snout retracts and your skin turns back green. And he goes,
sorry about that. That was a bit gruesome, but
it's a
pleasure to meet you. And he'll raise up a hand.
Yeah. Yes. A pleasure to meet you as well, sir. And reaches down and shakes your hand. Buddy kind of like claps his hands together and goes, oh yes. And then there is Morgan. Morgan is some type of like a fixer, from what I've been made aware of. Has a number of fantastical abilities and skills. I've been told has a way of opening doors. Yes, a tremendous individual, one and all. Also, the one who first showed me kindness in this group. So, good on her for that. You are muted.
You're absolutely correct in everything, buddy.
Oh, well, there we go. You see his brother turn, look at him, and goes, they keep calling you Buddy. What is that about? He goes, it's like a nickname. It's a thing that Northerners do. Don't worry about it. Just sometimes they call me Buddy. Definitely not a horrible nickname I had from working a 9 to 5. That's definitely not how that went. He goes, right, brother. Pleasure to meet you, Morgan. Good to see that my brother is keeping strong elven company in this group. And like,
can I just wink at his brother?
You wink at his brother, like in like I'm gonna get you way, or like in a like flirty way?
Not flirty.
Okay, you kind of like give him the old like, "Hey, champ," like the champ wink. Okay.
Absolutely.
He goes, and he tries to wink, but winks with both eyes, and then kind of tries to do the thing. You're realizing very quickly that the Iridan family are not great, like with social cues. They're good at talking, and they're good at, again, like arithmetic for the most part, and like very like by the books things. But people skills are not high on their to-do list. They're more about like, let's talk about diplomacy and like here, your rivers here, and like they break things down kind of analytically in that sense.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's kind of more their go-to. Walking in, he goes, of course, you've already met Mr. Cobalt Jones, Jonesy, as he's known to his friends. We've already had formal introductions there. And of course, yes, the somewhat leader of the group, Miss Velithil Dowenvey, the most noble and kind-hearted person in the group, truthfully, has given me the last coins out of her coin purse and helped with Miss Lightning to fix my my clothing at one point, as it was in quite disarray as I was downtrodden for a time. You see his brother kind of like give a nod and go, well, it is a pleasure to meet you, Miss Dowenvey, and kind of like gives like less of a like handshake and kind of instead like crosses one arm over to his shoulder and gives like a formal nod. And you know that to be like the actual greeting for nobility for those of like lesser houses or standings in Nymeria.
Yes, it is a pleasure to meet you as well. It's just Belithil. It's fine, thank you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, first name basis. Yes. Any friend of Bartholomew is a friend of mine. And he kind of goes, yes, lest I forget, there's also the little one, and you see the small bear next to JJ. Goes, that is a monster. Nope, not that word. That is Vasler, who is a demon of some sort. Literally, a demon. Goes, oh, well, nice to meet you, demon. Please do not kill anyone in my inn. And you hear the click in from the bear. He goes,
I give you no promises. Anyone looks at me funny, I'll burn the whole place down.
And you see Bartholomew kind of like turn to his brother and goes, he is completely serious. Best not to look at the bear any further. Then he goes,
Basler.
What?
Not now. Not now.
What do you mean not now?
Okay, later.
Not in
Deal, later.
nice inn.
It is a nice inn. But it's a little cold. And it could use a fire. What's your insurance policy on this place?
He goes, technically I'm not part of the city, so I can't actually get insurance.
Goes, oh, unfortunate.
Right. He kind of turns and looks, and he sees the last member, and he goes, oh, yes, and lest I forget, of course, you remember Professor Dothorian Bestina? And you see like the wizard has both hands behind his back and like gives like a solemn nod to both brothers. And you see like the pair of them lean in, and there's like very muted whispers between the two of them in Elven. Morgan, do you want to listen in? Since you have, you and JJ probably can very easily hear it. In Elven, JJ, do you hear Elf? Or do you hear Elf? Yep. Do you speak Elf?
I hear Elf, yes.
You hear Elf. Oh, yes, I have an ear for Elf. The pair of you interpret the conversation as like, do you think he's still mad about the whole mixture thing? He goes, oh, he's definitely still mad about it. It's been how long? He's like, well, his face is permanently scarred, brother. I don't see, I'm pretty sure he remembers those kinds of things. He goes, it was, the instructions were unclear. Really, it's not my fault. Like they kind of go back and forth, and they kind of straighten back up and go, pleasure to meet you, Professor. He goes, yes, a pleasure. He goes, still with the burning. Great. Like kind of cuts over and goes, yeah, oh, and lest I forget, of course, my brother. And he turns and like kind of like gestures to it. He goes, this is Alpheus Iridan, my older brother. So yeah, that's cool. You see Alpheus kind of like go and like give a nod and like a solemn kind of bow to each of you, and goes, "And welcome, of course, to my inn, the Nymerian Nightcap. Any member or friend of my brother is, of course, like family to me, so should you need rooms, food, or drink, you are welcome to it. Just please don't kill anyone. I can't stress that enough."
Thank you for opening your doors to us.
Of course. Truthfully, is there anything that I might be able to procure for you?
We're looking to have some drinks before we part on our way back home. Is that everyone wants?
Okay.
That's fine with me.
Currently I have 2 things on tap. I have a rot belly, and I have a fermented honey mead. But between family, it is starting to turn, so I probably would recommend the rot belly, but truthfully, it is not the best.
Oh, did you not try the rot belly yet?
What is rot belly?
Rot belly is a really, really crappy like gutter wine. It's actually made by the runoff of other wines being made at wineries.
Nice, it's the jungle juice.
Yeah, it literally is like jungle juice.
I don't do wine. I've been... He starts crying a little bit. I've been sober for 3 days.
I for one, am very proud of him.
Bad.
He never even said that they had mead.
Truthfully, I thought he was a liar until just recently, so that was why. Yeah.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
I am a liar, but not always.
Well, glad we cleared that incident up then, so no harm, no foul, friend. Would you like some rot belly now?
No.
Okay then, well, glad we cleared that up. For the rest
I
of you,
want some mead, though.
I really would not recommend it.
No. I need it.
Oh, okay. So 1 mead, and for the rest of you, the mage kind of speaks and goes, "I'm fine, thank you." He goes, "Yes, sir."
I'll be fine as well. Thank you very much. Just a water, maybe.
Oh, I could do a tankard of water. That would be fine. How about your small friend? You have any human blood? No. Okay, children's blood. Also no. All right. How about a soul? He goes, "I do have a soul." He goes, "Can I have it?" He goes, "Absolutely not." He goes, "All right. Hold on. How about black gold?" And he goes, "I don't even know what that is." He goes, "It's like, well, you'll find out eventually." He goes, "Right. Don't have any of that. How about like a coal? I could just give you a coal. Is that something demon because you're warm?" He goes, nah.
Do you have like maybe a rat or something that lives in the cellar?
There are a number of rats in the cellar, I'm sure.
Okay. Perhaps you could have a rat or 2 to sustain the blood/soul from the cellar.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, the staircase, young person. Damon, it's fine. He goes, "Right. Whatever. The way down is just behind the front desk, and then there's a set of stairs there. Do you want me to show you?" He goes, "I can figure it out." You see him and starts creaking down these steps. You hear the door open and close, and then there's like nothing after that. Vasler just disappears from scene.
JJ will... Go ahead, Belle.
Are we leaving him unattended in a building that you just threatened to burn down?
Speaking of that, one moment, Belle. JJ is going to ping Vasler and try and communicate. Do not damage shit, please.
You hear, this dirty rat doesn't know what he's dealing with. I've got a whole crate of something in here.
Jesus. Or weavers.
There you go. Anytime,
need
by
to
the way,
pick
anytime someone
which-
says Jesus, we just say weavers.
We gotta decide which one of the weavers is the closest allegory, so that's the one we say.
You got to figure out a go-to of the three weavers. Like, that's our one.
Well, one can hope. If
Yeah.
not, I will leave an extra tip, Bill.
As you say this, you see Alphaeus kind of look to you and go, no payment required. Family, your coin is no good here, family. You are kin to me. Wouldn't even... Nope, not allowed. Sorry. We have a thing, midweek special, no coin works here.
Listen, I'm not going to lie to you. That bear is probably going to trash most of your downstairs, so we're going to pay for it.
You know, that's probably fine. It's pretty messy down there, and it could probably use a good scrubbing anyway, and it will give me the motivation to do it. So don't even fret about it. Let's get you a table and drinks all around, yeah?
Certainly.
Great. And he goes and like starts putting chairs like around the table, like extra chairs so that everyone can fit around one table. Your appointed mage kind of sits at the table adjacent to everyone, but like sits in a way that can like still listen in on conversation or be there if you guys need to call for him. But yeah, time passes. You see Alphaeus kind of go and bring various like large tankards of whatever beverage you'd prefer to have. Is anyone else getting the mead other than Kobold Jones? Celeste, you are? All right. You guys watch as the drinks are being prepared, those of you perceptive enough, and you note that like he turns the tap on the mead and it starts kind of like globbing out like really slow. And he goes, and he reaches down, he pulls out this long piece of metal and starts stabbing into the tap and kind of like pulling stuff out. And you can see that there's like some kind of growth or fungus that's been kind of growing in this thing because no one's been recommended it for quite some time, and kind of like cuts it out and like slaps it onto the side. And it's this thick kind of like lacquer kind of material kind of fopping out of this like overstuffed thing. He kind of looks at the two drinks and goes, yeah, and brings over a tray and serves everyone their various beverages. Celeste and Kobold Jones, the two mugs in front of you, have like a weird like foaming to it over the top of it. And he goes, yeah, that's bon appetit. He goes, thank you, brother. He goes, you're welcome. If you need anything, I will just be off a bit away. I'm just going to attend to the other guests before I come sit.
Jonesy will take up his mug and do like the cheers with Celeste. Start drinking it.
Oh, geez. You slip back. You feel an immediate, like, thick honey mead, like, slam into the back of your throat. It's sticky the whole way down for some reason, but there's still like water underneath it. It's kind of like if you've ever had river water and there's like that film, that like undescribable film that is just like intermittent with the water, like polluted water. There's like a stickiness to it and a sourness to it, but then there's a sweetness buried underneath. It's all kinds of messed up. I do need a con save or a roll against poison.
But he's a dwarf. He's immune to poison.
Well, he's a kobold in the dwarf's body. Or wait, reverse that.
Yeah. 14.
14. You more chew this beer, this mead, rather than drink it. There's a little bit of like almost like bits of candied honeyed that's still stuck in it. But it goes down fairly smoothly. It does immediately hit the bottom of your stomach like a bomb landing on ground. And you're like, ooh. And there's a moment where like you're like, I am fine. And then you're like, I am like 5 drinks in. Like immediately.
It's just like, oh god. He said honey, didn't he? I ate honey.
Do you not listen when people talk, Mr. Jones?
Do you not know what meat is, Jones?
Isn't it just beer?
Oh no.
Oh,
Hear yourself
Lord.
talk?
Lords.
Mr. Jones, you are a bag of confusion, I must admit. But I'm glad to be your number one, friend. He kind of like punches you in the arm a bit.
Just throw up.
do you willingly want to throw up? you turn and go, and just return it to the cup that it was poured from. And everyone kind of looks around and goes, oh no. Okay, well, no more for Mr. Jonesy.
I'll
For-
put it back on the table and then out.
Shockingly, having been regurgitated doesn't change the way this looks. It looks about the same, little foamy top and everything. You see Bartholomew kind of look over and go, all right, Mr. Jones. It's okay, bud. He like taps you on the back a little bit. But yeah, as you all sit there, Bartholomew looks you over and goes, I assume since you have a house mage with you that we're good to go? Everything good in Nymeria? Everyone good times? We're ready to go? How long is he staying with us?
Just
He's just
escorting us home.
Oh, okay, great. So we're heading to the River's Crossing, or maybe we could...
Teleportation to Deerwood.
Oh, yes, that would be marvelous. Teleportation, yes, of course. It didn't go great the last time, though.
Miss Vale's arranged for that to not be an issue.
We have a bigger hammer. Just...
No, I'm hoping that a non-detection spell will stop anything from arcanely locking on to me and pulling us away again.
Oh.
But I would say
Mom.
everyone should be ready.
Does that fancy mumbo jumbo protect you from knowing where yourself is at?
What?
Are you
if
in fact very drunk?
No. Hear me out. If I casted non-detection on myself or whatever that thing is,
You're a mage?
no. But
Oh.
let's say hypothetically.
Hypothetically, of course, hypothetically.
I was a mage,
Okay.
like King Wizzle and the Gizzard Lizard or something. That's
Never
my
heard of
cousin.
it.
Anyway.
Okay, sure.
If I did that, would I not be able to detect myself?
If
What?
you
Is it like an out-of-body experience, and I like don't know who I am anymore?
I think
No, it protects from divination. It protects from other magic mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, but like, don't you have like that guy's arm or something like that? So like, is he not going to be able to see himself?
I mean, it's not active right now, and that is a
Yeah,
part of
but-
me as well, so he shouldn't be able to.
Yeah,
I
but,
didn't
I
say
mean-
that this is a 100%. This is still a working theory and requires an execution of a teleportation to see if it happens or not, which is why we still will need to be on edge and ready in case an evil clown attacks us again. If you don't like that, we can procure other means.
I
Nah,
honestly thought you were
that's
having
cool.
like a drug trip, tell you the truth, Mr. Jones.
Oh no. Well, maybe withdrawals.
Well, no,
I did throw up the only ale.
yeah. I mean, I just want to
did
make
have
it a point that no matter how you attempt to fix these vices, you could never outrun yourself, so you have to make peace with that.
Are you a fucking high?
No, I'm actually stone cold sober. Shockingly, I haven't. There's water in my mug.
That's way worse. Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
No, Jones. What he's saying is you can't outrun me. I'm so much faster than you.
Well, that's also very true. I've seen him. He's very fast. He runs up trees even.
Oh, buddy, I was just thinking,
Yes.
as Jonesy's new number one,
Yes.
probably best that you stay on his same level. And I'm gonna slide my drink over to Buddy.
Oh.
Just think that as his number one, you should
So,
Sure.
Celeste,
stay
No,
on
you
the
know what?
same level.
No, I've got this. All right. You're right. All right.
I know.
I'm cool. I can hang.
Buddy,
You got this.
he literally
Buddy.
couldn't drink that himself.
That's right.
Yeah.
On the same level, they're besties, guys.
All right.
Yeah, we've been trying to keep
Got it.
Buddy off of substances.
He looks to Cobalt Jones and he goes, "I can drink this and you can't. You have to tell everyone that I'm your number one."
They already all think that you're my number one.
No, but I
buddy.
want you to say it.
Won them over.
It's very important to
and
me.
I could have drank that if it wasn't for the honey. I drink stuff like that all the time, but honey's
Sure.
disgusting.
That's fine. I'm not saying you're any less of a man for it, sir. I am merely asking that if I am able to do it,
He'll drink it out of his hand.
you'll drink it out of his hand. Go ahead and roll a con save for being petty.
That's a crit.
You just slurp it down. He,
Pettiest crit of them all.
bites the side of the mug and like rends it and just like drinks it all down. And Bartholomew's just holding
No,
like the handle.
Yeah, it's more like in Willy Wonka when you like eat the teacup. Yeah, he just
Yeah.
eats the whole cup.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's just holding a handle. That's all he's holding. And he just goes, well, okay. Well, you did it then. Okay. Everyone saw Big Jonesy. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, Celeste. I cannot drink it. It is eaten.
You could drink this one and it'll pass the throw off.
I am not drinking that. It came out of you, sir. That is unsanitary, to say the least. We shouldn't even have this on the table anymore.
You're not his number one, is what you're saying.
Oh. Go ahead and give me a persuasion check, because you're attempting to goad him, Celeste. This poor elf that has had a horrible life. You said 21?
21.
He, like, stares, like, mile-long stare at the cup as, like, your
I
words...
take that cup away immediately.
You slide the cup away.
I just grab it and stand up and walk away to go pour it somewhere.
You just go dump
I
it out,
remove
like,
it from the
outside.
equation.
He just goes, I was going to maybe consider drinking... Okay, yeah, that's fine. All right.
Maybe
Mayhaps.
we should respect when people are choosing to stay sober,
Yep. Lots of
and
respect.
perhaps we shouldn't put ourselves in competition with each other like that. We're all family.
Okay, I'll agree to your terms, but there needs to be a compromise. We also need to agree to have people not be sober, because that's probably worse.
If that's your choice, fine.
Okay, deal. And I'll reach out my hand.
Okay. I wasn't going to make this a shake deal. I was going to make this kind of like a verbal pact, but we can put our hands in and we'll just all put them all in the middle. Like a good team.
So before I put my hand in this pile of hands that I don't know where they've been, we're agreeing, what again? No friendly competition? Or we could do friendly competition, just no... What are the
Let's not put each other in competition of who is ranked who on each other's friend scales.
Oh, like
We're all
number
kind
one.
of we're all number one. We're all family here.
all number?
Because we're all family, especially, you know, we don't have to reference who's like number one or number three, because sometimes that hurts a lot of feelings.
That's very sweet of you, but I'm not a liar to my family.
That's okay. That's fine. You know, if no one else wants to do it,
I'm
that's
down.
fine.
No, I will agree to that. Yeah, I'm in. I'm in, Miss Lightning. Look, my hand's here. Look, my hand is right here. I'm in. I will not judge anyone on their value to the group or how nice they are to me. Everyone is equal. Seekers of Galanti, number one.
But are you saying there are people that are more valuable in this group than others?
What? No, everyone's number one.
Oh,
I just
you're
said that part.
insinuating? I feel like, no, I think that you just...
What?
Sure, that's what you just said?
I don't remember. I must have gotten some drunk vibes from Jonesy, and I forgot it. So yeah, I'm in. Miss Lightning, I'm in. 100%. 100%. Everyone's an equal. Heck yeah. Do we do like a hoorah or a fist pump or a...
Or a go seekers go?
Do we have like a chant or a cheer or?
You know, I
I
don't
don't
know.
agree to your terms. You change the
That's-
deal. I'm out.
All
That's
right.
fine, Jonesy.
All right. Well, Miss Lightning and I agree that you all are equal and we're all friends, family almost. All right. Well,
I can agree to that.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Well, sorry. Wait. No. Orville. Judd Lee. Wait. You have many names, sir. Many, many names.
Yeah, I do.
All right. Well, you're my number one now.
I think I agree.
Didn't you
We're
just
like-
agree to not do that?
Well, we're all in the group as number one.
Oh.
Miss Velethil's
All
in number
together.
one too. Morgan's number one. Honestly, probably we have to put the group number one. It's not for nothing. There's been a lot of cold nights, and there's a certain furball that I think is probably number one. He doesn't judge me ever. He just kind of listens when I wax poetic.
To be fair, I don't think it's that he's not judging you. I think it's that he's not saying it out loud.
All right. Well, so are we leaving or what? And you hear like a crashing sound from below the stairs, and then you hear a creaking sound as the door swings open. You start hearing the sounds of like metal legs walking forward, and then you hear the sounds of various smaller legs pattering and pittering on the staircase. Those of you that look over, you see a large metallic bear, clean, completely clean, and about 10 large rats, like enough to have lower CR, that are in rank and file behind this large metal bear. You hear, "Shh. What's up, losers?" He starts walking over to the table, and the mice all follow in like rows.
What have you done?
What? Oh, these guys are cool. That's Whiskers. That's Tails. That's Charles. Charles is fucking crazy. Yeah, they're my buddies. And all said and done, there's about like 8 large fucking rats, like big honking rats.
I am not sure if you can take all of your new friends
What?
back home.
Oh, what, you guys, you're getting to take all your friends back home.
So wouldn't you rather have JJ,
What?
take care of your friends so that you're more associated?
No, these guys are cool. They've all got families too.
You actually value some things more than just the souls inside them. I didn't expect that of you.
Oh yeah, you know how many people these folks kill a year to plague? Innumerable. Great business venture.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Especially Charles. Charles is fucking crazy. Yeah. He apparently shit in one of the casks that they serve out here. Crazy.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yep, checks out.
DM, can I use the scene that's going on here as a distraction to sneak off to the other table of folks?
Oh sure, yeah. There's a couple of them. It's mostly like 1s and 2s of hunters, and then there's like a group of like 5 people that are all playing cards.
I'll go over to the table displaying cards.
Okay. You walk over, you like sneak away from the scene, and you see these they're kind of like again like frontiersmen, like all like kind of like still wearing like leather jerkins and like traveling clothes, and by many of them are like various bows and crossbows and like sheathed weapons and the like, and they kind of turn and look over in your direction.
From his pocket, he's gonna plant 3 silver and 2 copper on the table. Just be like, "Hey guys, bartender's not taking payment from us, so y'all just take care of him and pay your tabs and keep this place running as best you can."
You see like one of them kind of like turn and look at you, and you see this individual has like dark ruddy green skin, but like long pointed elven ears, and has like this weird like almost like half orc half elf kind of like fixture to him. He looks you over and he goes,
Well, now, I do suppose we could take care of the old innkeeper. He's been real nice to us for many years. What's the occasion you being so generous with your coin?
Let's just call him a friend of a friend.
Friend, old friend. What might I say is a generous benefactor?
Don't worry about that. That'll just upset him.
Okay. So we're doing it of our own belief
Religion.
systems.
Yes, thank y'all and have a wonderful night. And he'll just make a quick exit.
He's like, goes and goes, and there's like a moment where like you see them kind of like touch the coin and like think about just adding it to the middle of the pot and like just like spiking it for the next round of cards. And then you see like another one of them like think better of it and turn and look, and like there's like some math going on. They like count how many people at your table, and they're just like, and you see them like stack it up next to where their drinks are and just be like, fucking forget it. Like there's definitely like a moment where they're like, we'll just take it. And then they like think better of it of like, we'll die. Like this seems like a rude group. The scary kobold with like dragon scales on them. We're fighting. We're not doing this. But yeah, they more or less agree to your terms.
All right, cool.
All right. But yeah, drinks all around. You guys are able to partake in a number of like small beverages. Bartholomew's brother has a seat at the table. Doesn't drink or anything, but more or less just sits in on conversation. Is there anything you guys want to do before asking the house mage of the Dawnseeker to send you back to the estate of Lady Gulanti? Good to go. Time to get the F out of Aurelia. So yeah, say roughly about an hour or so passes. You all are able to relax, partake of drinks and things of the like, and more or less just kind of like take in and relax a bit. In doing so, you eventually come to the time where must be going. The mage kind of looks to you all and kind of more or less asks and goes, "Now, mightn't there be any place that you are going in particular?"
Deerwood.
Deerwood.
Particularly if you could get us as close to Lady Gulanti's estate as possible.
Let's see. And he reaches in, and you see as he reaches into his cloak, he has like a number of small tomes that are like locked into his like jacket. He unbuttons one and kind of like pulls it out and seems leafing through it. And there's a number of like runic symbols and sigils that are inscribed on pages. And he flips through it. He looks over and he goes, I don't believe personally that I have the teleportation runes for a Lady Gulanti. I do believe, however, I have the estate of a Jude Ferosa still on record. Would that be...
I could give Our Lady a heads up so that she could give Ferosa a heads up.
If you so choose.
But do you have just a general Deerwood?
Unfortunately,
or just the Ferosa?
Just the Ferosa. There is a individual understanding that the current ruling lord of a city is to provide their arcane sigils for important foreign nationals.
Great. All right, then I'll give the lady a heads up, if you will. And JJ will turn to the group and say, "We're gonna have to go to Ferosa. I just want to let y'all know. That's it."
I'll be on my best behavior.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I don't know
And
what
it's one of the lord, the big head honcho, essentially, in Deerwood. Oh.
You know Jude Christian Ferosa.
is of House Ferosa. He is the leader of both the church and the courts in Deerwood. He was actually he's been involved in 2 different backstories in this group. Shockingly.
Oh yeah, that guy hates me. But that's okay. I'm sure it's fine.
Apparently 3 different backstories now. We're learning this so much about Cole Johnson.
Just everything is part of my backstory.
Oh yes, of course. When you ask to breathe fire, I'll have to remember it's part of your backstory.
Yeah, of course. Well, actually, if you look, I took Magic Initiate.
I'm 1/2 dragon. On my father's side, twice removed. Anyway.
Not like my stepfather, but like, my real father.
We're real close. We went fishing once. All right. But yeah, so you want to give a call into or ascending into Lady Galante?
Yeah.
All right.
It would just be Lady Galante. The Seekers are being teleported back. We must enter at Ferosa's. If you give him a heads up, thank you.
You get a call back and you hear, "Oh, that is wonderful. Be sure to tithe at his temple if you are so inclined. I'll see you soon, my children."
Great. All right. Everybody, please be on your best behavior. Vasler, please.
What?
This is gonna be everyone just be respectful of the temple.
You see Vasler, there's still 8 rats behind Vasler.
Vasler, you can't bring them. I'm
What?
sorry.
Okay.
I told you already.
No, we didn't ever. No, you just said I couldn't. And you didn't say why.
Because the circle, I don't. If I remember correctly from the things I've heard, these circles you can only take so many folk.
Okay, well, okay. So we'll have a draft. All right. You want to pick first or second?
The whole normal team of Vel, Orville,
that's not fair. Hold on,
myself,
no.
Moore,
No.
Kobold, Celeste, you, Buddy. That's who's coming for sure.
Okay, no. Let's renegotiate here.
How could you possibly take these guys from their home? They
He's
live
right,
their whole
that's
lives
not how
there.
a draft would work. You'd get to pick one, then I would, then Morgan, then Orville. We'd all get a say. So you'd get like 1 rat in.
All right.
He turns
All right, I
around.
pick Charlie.
he goes,
Charles, you've been chosen.
You see this like big honking rat. It's missing like 1 ear, like it's been chewed up, and it's got like a squirrely eye, and it definitely has rabies. And it kind of looks like he goes, yeah, you're gonna be
No,
a
I go
hero,
first.
bud.
I want to choose him.
No, it's mine.
He goes and you see the robot go, like the big mechanized bear go and lift up this big heckin' rat, and it starts hissing and like wiggling around wildly, and he just like cups it to his shoulder, and you see it chewing on the metal but can't get through tungsten, and kind of just turns around and goes,
all right, I pick Charles.
You are taking him away from his family. Just remember that.
So are you.
Points at Buddy.
Well, if Buddy
Actually,
wants
we
to
brought
stay,
him back to his family.
yeah, if Buddy actually wants to stay, it is his prerogative.
But Bartholomew looks around and goes, I'm pretty sure if I don't go, I'm unemployed again, so I kind of have to go. Also, I'm kind of not really supposed to be here. I kind of have to go with you. I feel like that's, I mean, you can fire me once we're in the city. Please don't, but you could. But not here. I told my brother that I have a job working for Heroes, and I'd like him to.
Vasler,
Yeah.
I want you to consider how incredibly massive the elven assholes that live in this place are.
Mm-hmm.
And what that means to take away such a proficient rat.
I mean, yeah, it seems great. I don't know what you're
You
like.
do so much more damage here.
No, he's got whiskers and tails. They can do stuff. Look, I'm allowed to have a pet, okay?
I didn't say you would. I'm just saying
My new best friend.
they've done good work. Obviously, that's what you told me.
There's a lot of not dead elves. For all the living elves here, not that great of work. You know where it's going to be great work? Place where there aren't people that live to be a billion. Okay? So, gonna be great.
Great. JJ is just gonna kind of pat the top, try and pat the back of the rat, and she's gonna cast Lesser Resto on it.
Oh, give me an animal handling check. As it's currently still nomming on the side of Vasler's arm. His Teddy Tungsten suit has scratches on it. It's like
14.
14. You get close and there's a moment where it like stops and you see its one good eye kind of like twist around and look at you. It's like and you cast Luster Resto and you cure one disease on it. It no longer has rabies.
Thank God.
Yeah. You see it and it kind of like settles down a little bit and seems like calmer.
He's like, ah, look, little guy's all tuckered out. He's all tired now. Like he's sleeping like a baby.
Yep.
All right, are we all ready to go then?
Yep.
Vasler has this fucking rat. The fucking stupidest thing. The mage looks to you and goes, right then, so if you are all ready, and starts kind of like drawing, like goes down and takes a small like wand out of his cloak, just like kind of like sharpened piece of stick, and it starts doing the runes and like tracing the lines.
Before that, there was an arrangement of a non-detection.
An arrangement. Oh yes, your paranoia. Of course. He goes and kind of like digs in his pouch and produces this fine mist of diamond powder and kind of washes it over you. And starts to kind of like doing the incantations for non-detection. Cast it.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. Anything to make the Dawnseekers happy. And he goes and continues to like draw the circle out and kind of get it all ready for the ritual. And eventually has it there and begins to kind of like chant a bit. And in concluding the ritual, you see it kind of flare to life. Because whenever you're ready, I will open the gateway and you may escape to your homes.
I think we're ready.
Very good. He snaps his hands together and evokes the magic circle. You see it open wide. You see this kind of like swirling mist and kind of like arcane magic kind of open up. And he kind of like stares at it curiously and then kind of twists a bit of it. And you see it begin to refract and become clearer. And you can see the inside of what appears to be a church.
JJ will gesture for everyone to go before her and Basler.
I'll go in.
Bartholomew, being Cobble Jones's number one, goes in right after Cobble Jones.
Oh, hell no. And
He
she's
goes,
going to go
"Oh, thanks."
in after him.
I'll go.
Morgan.
I'll follow.
Orville.
Take like a deep breath and then walk in.
JJ, it's you and Vasler and Charles.
JJ will walk in first and then try and like pull along Basler and Charles behind her.
God, we're going! I have legs! And you hear as Charles wakes back up and is freaking out. It goes you guys hear like a whispered, like not whispered, but like shouted, but it kind of gets distorted in your voice in the voice. You hear like the goodbye, dear friends. Nice to meet you. And like it's like the last possible moment Buddy's brother attempts to say goodbye. You guys swirl through space and time once again. You feel everything stretch and bend and break around you. The world peels away into nothingness and everything all at once. You feel dimension swirl and twist far beyond your mind's eye, and further still to the familiar sights and smells of the city of Deerwood. In doing so, as you are transported, and in your process of doing so, this near instant transportation, you do have an event. You hear deep within your mind's eye, Velithil, you can hear a voice cackling. You hear, oh, if only. You hear, and there is, in an instant, the portal opens and you all emerge out onto the other side in a very, 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 very elaborate church. And I mean like mega church.
Did you say if only?
If only.
And you just, that's all it was?
That's all it was.
The laugh cut out on my end, so I wasn't sure if you said more.
Nope, that's it. Nice, simple, clean, and
Okay.
easy. You walk in and you see this altar, where this runic pattern is actually incorporated into the grand design of the kind of like beautiful display work of the marbled floors of this church. You see 3 large equivalent stained glass windows that seem to depict various forms of the 3 weavers themselves. You can hear a booming voice kind of echo out from the church. And as you guys are standing there, like stood in the middle of church, you look over and church is in session. It's in service. It's still like midday mass at this point. And there are rows of people sitting in the pews. There is a priest who is speaking there, and you kind of catch like the kind of beginning of it. And you hear, and thus they said unto Bevin, as Bevin said unto Kaysin, and thusly gods had spoke. You guys walk on out, and there's all of you, and then a metal bear holding a rat, and the rat starts squeaking and squealing, and people are like, and you see there's a member of the clergy who's been standing next to it, like expecting your arrival, and they're like, no worries, ladies and gentlemen, sorry about that, it's just foreign dignitaries, apologies, it was a rush. That, and you're like, oh my goodness, and like a few people are like, oh, and like they start making like prayers, and they start holding their hands in like a prayer formation, thinking that you've come from today's sermon, which seems to be all about like you get the kind of feeling from many of them that it's like a very impassioned part of scripture, discussing about how the gods were working together to bring something. And that was like you just entered in the right in the moment when they were like reaching the crescendo about like the moral of the story. And then you guys walk in, and one of the ladies goes, oh my goodness. And he goes, oh no. And you see Vazar immediately release this plagued rat, and it lands on the ground. She's squeaking around, and people start screaming as it runs through the church. You see the small robotic head turn and look at JJ and go, we should probably leave.
JJ will take out a tithe and find wherever the tithing basket is, and just start hustling everyone along, kind of just patting everyone on the back, going, let's go.
Everyone starts going. The member of clergy looks at you and goes, I'm assuming you have the Seekers of Galante. Okay, great.
Yes, thank you.
They start ushering you out. You see a small little box with a coin hole at the very front of the building. But it is a large like mega church. So it's like you guys are crossing like half of a football field of pews and like people in attendance, as this is like the church in the city. So it's just a lot of people like, every so often you hear screaming as someone like the rat like goes under someone's chair, and like you're like, get it, and then it's like, oh, Charles, let it get her, and just keeps walking.
I'll do the Queen's wave the whole way through.
Queen's wave the whole way through. You guys successfully get out of the church, the Ferosa church. You stand outside of the like kind of marbled and like beautiful white stone steps that lead to it. Again, you do note that this church serves as both the predominant church and judicial system within the area. So it is like the front of it kind of looks like a courthouse with stained glass windows and like all types of like convergent symbols for the different beliefs in the area. Predominantly all of those are the different forms of worship of the Weavers. You look over it and you can see the long, tall gates and walls that make up the Ferosa's area of town. Much like the rest of the nobles in the city, he is the only one that has sectioned off his claim of the city, and his father has done that as well long ago. It's just always been a thing in this city for a long time. You guys are escorted through town, and easily enough, we'll move right along. You guys arrive back after an hour or so of traversing back to the lady's estate of the Lady Galante. we're a little bit past time, but I want to get to a part where we can start thinking about stuff for next week. So fast track is you guys arrive back at the lady's estate. You are requested almost immediately to have an audience with the Lady Galanti. And she kind of welcomes you all in. Let's see here. Yes. Yeah. So with that, is there anything you guys want to discuss or talk about in your travels back to the city? Or anything you want to have a conversation of before meeting with Lady Galanti?
Celeste Jones kind of took you halfway, if not all the way across the world with this. We never got a straight answer quite on what your intentions were at this point. Do you hope to just keep working with us as mercenaries, or are you going to come back to the life as a Weaver's Chosen?
I mean, I'm not a Weaver's Chosen, so let's get that straight. But
Working with us, you kind of are, though.
no, I have rescinded the title. I do not believe in it, and I am not that. I am just a guy with a bunch of other dudes. But I like you guys, so I'm sticking around.
You're a very conflicted individual, and I hope that you find whatever you're looking for. Celeste?
I mean, we're a package deal, so like, as I go and not a Weaver's Chosen. You guys believe you are, then that's cool. I mean, I here further out, I guess, but just don't want you to think that I'm gonna suddenly change my mind, and I hope that's not a deal breaker either. But
It's not. I'm just confused as why you'd want to work with us when it's something you don't even believe in. That's where I don't understand your motivations. Like, I don't.
No, I think you definitely misunderstand. So it's not that we don't want to do the right thing. It's that I don't see any intrinsic value in the idea of Weavers. I think that that's all just a bunch of BS, and I think that there's just good and bad people. And I try to align myself with those who are going to do the right thing. I don't care about titles.
I think that's a fair assessment, to be honest.
All right.
All right then. So, with that, you all are brought into the court and area, kind of this like beautiful office that you've been in a number of times, with the Lady Galanti. She kind of gives her wide stare to the grouping of you and rises from her station, looks you all over, and she goes, "Oh, goodness gracious, it has been entirely far too long, my delightful seekers. I welcome you back to the home Galanti. Truthfully, your matters and business have been the talk of the estate for some time, and in fact, you are now quite easily the most famous of all of my children among the house. Please, you must have a million stories, I am sure, but there are a number of matters that I must make you aware of, that you might address them yourselves. They do require your attention."
All right, what you got, Lady G?
She looks over and like peels over and goes, "Oh yes, you're Mr. Kobold Jones, is that correct?"
Yeah, something like that.
Yes. It is good to finally put a face to the name that my coin purchased. Truthfully, I will have to speak with you, and I believe, and she looks around, she goes, Celeste Marigold, I will have to speak to you as well regarding your future endeavors with the House Galanti.
If you are to remain in your current station, we will have to discuss a private contract for my house and your working thereof. But that is for later. You've only just arrived, and I have rooms prepared for the both of you. Primarily, I would like to wrap a number of things well and address them. And she kind of like, as you guys are like ushering into the room, she kind of stands in front of her desk. She does kind of give like a formal greeting, and like there's like this moment of like, had Kobold Jones and Celeste not been there, and this new elf that she has no idea of, you kind of get the feeling that she wanted to kind of like have this like embrace or like this kind of like motherly familiarity that she has with many of her seekers, but rather with her Weaver's Chosen. But being that there are people that she doesn't consider to be part of her household there, you see her kind of like immediately take the mask that she wears as a nobleman and put it right back on and kind of enter back into this kind of high society feeling. She looks you all over and she goes, I, of course, am very sorry to hear of the passing of Mr. Honeycutt. I have no one further to forward his wages to. So I, of course, have thought of a number of things we could do. Primarily, I have toyed with the idea of opening a foundation in his name, more or less preaching the ideals and mindset, and we could sponsor an urchin, but that's another matter for that. I was curious to know if you had anything that we might bury of him here within the estate so that he may know peace, rather than anything of that sort. We could honor him with a gravestone.
I have, trying to remember what I have of his. I know I have this silly deck of his that we picked up during travels. I know that. Sadly, a lot of the things that I was carrying kind of did not make it the more mundane. So.
Well, anything that you might think of, I'll allow you time to, of course, consider such things. I had hoped that upon your return, one of the pressing issues here was I want to hold a funeral service for him. So I thought it might be best that we have something other than just a marked grave for him. Anything at all that you can think of, that would be the first thing on my mind, as I wish to pay proper respects to that man who has died for us. There are a number of events that you have missed out on here within town, and a number of vies for various avenues of power, but that can all wait. There are, in fact, 3 matters besides the passing of Mr. Honeycutt that I would like to make you aware of and have you privy to such information. Is it all right that we speak formally in front of your 3 friends here?
I feel like you could either speak formally or however you're most comfortable. Ma'am.
I more mean to say, are they invested in your affairs, Miss Lightning, or are they not? Have they fulfilled their purpose in that sense, and you might need them later?
Well, if I may.
Please.
Kobold Jones and Celeste have both expressed interest in continuing to work with us, and you will have to have your discussion with them on however that will be handled, but they have both stated as such. And Bartholomew Irridin has proved a valuable ally and is in our employ as well.
Well, very good then. Well, we can, of course, drop the contracts and such then, but if you trust them with your affairs and the like, of course we will thank you for that. First and foremost, I want to welcome you back to the estate. As I said, the world is changing rather rapidly here at the home front, and there are a number of enterprising opportunities that, of course, will be availed to my prized Weaver's Chosen, such as you are here, the Seekers of Galanti. But there are, as I've stated, 3 pressing matters. The first is the sum that has arrived for you from various endeavors I assume that you have embarked on. It is, well, rather cumbersome in various respects, both in crates of solid gold trade bars, as well as a number of packages that have arrived with some curious stamping across them, which of course leads me into the second order of business. Your names have been ushered throughout the open airways every morning by a rather loud-mouthed individual upon a station known as MMLR 660, claiming that you all are sponsored by the station and you've embarked on some type of crusade for the radio host, and that you also are sworn allies of theirs. It's made you rather popular.
Sponsored? Did he specifically say sponsored?
Oh yes, no, we've written a number
we don't have
of...
the jackets though, so that's not...
So that was also part of this. There were a number of garments that have been provided to the estate, care of MMLR 660, in accordance with the multitude of boxes that have arrived from, I assume, them, but they continue to be delivered by rather unsavory types, shall we say? Rather large, rotting beings of heavy mass that seem to mold a bit at their approach. To that as well, there is an individual who has accompanied the initial delivery and is awaiting your respondents for such things. I offered them a room in keeping with good courtesy. However, they're not quite alive, but they have a number of sentience about them that, well, it's rather curious. But they apparently are waiting for your express consent on whatever it is their business is, and nothing that we have done has deterred them, and they have made themselves a permanent fixture in my meeting room.
So sorry about that.
Well, so long as you can address it, I can very much overlook the inconvenience. It is not unheard of, but they are rather dead, to say the least. I shouldn't say that as well. They walked here, after all, but never mind. That leads us to our third point, as we so see it at this point. Your recent endeavors have gotten a number of individuals talking about you within the Ravon area. To that, there are a number of documents and proceedings that have arrived from various local groups that are all seeking to utilize and, from what I understand, brand the Seeker's name as a bannerman in their cause. There are a number of people who have filed in a number of things. I believe, and she turns to her desk, and there's a pile of scrolls in her inbox, a big metal box that people put documents in, and she kind of pulls one out and she goes, "There is a logging company that seeks some sort of restitution or agreement regarding the death of one of their workers that states that you owe them now that you're famous." And she kind of hands that over to you guys. She goes, there is an individual known as, I'm not quite sure, it's just a symbol. And she shows it to you, and you look, and it's the symbol of Yetsukalis on a large tube, and it's this blackened tube. And she goes, it was difficult to discern as it's written in a strange language, but we believe it to say something along the lines of a program by which they want to provide armaments and munitions to your group. I'm not quite sure if you should be accepting such ominous things, but from the, letterhead alone, I must say I'm rather impressed. And she hands that over to you. She hands another scroll to you, and she goes, this one is a bit strange. There is an individual who is writing regarding a resistance movement that they are looking for your blessing and for you to make a public statement against the King of Silverhearth. Now, I don't personally think this would be a wise idea, but they have bade your approval for their campaign of war against the King of Silverhearth, and that you might back them publicly. And she hands this over, and you look, and it's the sigil of the ram is like across this this tube. And then, of course, there is this other individual, and this rather was curious, to say the least. And she hands over a tube that is like pure gold and like seems to be kind of like covered in like various like writings, and it has the kind of sigils and statements of Silverhearth themselves. She goes, "The newly crowned prince of Silverhearth is, well, now I should say king, soon to be, of Silverhearth, is also requesting that you publicly acknowledge his ascension to the throne, and wishes to hold a celebration in your honor should you return to Silverhearth. But I realistically think you should be able to just champion his cause, accept it, and then with that he would probably be resplendent in the admiration that your name now takes and carries. Beyond that, we have a number of pending things to do as far as for the House Galanti is concerned, but I wish you to have some time for yourselves to consider all that you have done and all that you will do in the weeks to come. So I think you've more than well earned time off, as well as payment, of which I have more or less distributed to you in your time of need, in both the hiring of Miss Marigold as well as Mr. Jones, and the sum that we sent as that. However, as I've said, you have a number of packages to unpack in the reception hall. We couldn't really move a few of them. They're rather large. But I think that just about covers it. Past that, I've arranged for Mr. Honeycutt and Bucky's rooms to be repurposed for your friends. I was not expecting a third, so I will make a room in my my noble quarters available for your elven friend here. And,
that would be perfect for him.
And Bartholomew kind of like moves his shoulders inward and like kind of steps forward and goes, "Yes, pleasure to meet you. I am Bartholomew Iridan, diplomat extraordinaire, and I work with your Seekers of Galanti. I am their diplomat, and in many ways, I'm also a bit of a squire, I'll have you know." And she kind of like looks him over curiously, and then like outstretches her hand, of which he like cups it, like full formal noble greeting, like kisses her knuckles, and then kind of like gives like a soft nod and like a curtsy to her, and she goes, "I like this one. You can keep him." Goes, thank you, ma'am. Just kind of like sneaks back in there. Just right then, my Seekers of Galanti, you have so much to consider in the days and weeks to come. Should you need my counsel, my door is forever open to you. I make no allusions to the fact that you are, in fact, at this moment, the number one team within my household. My gems have fallen on difficult times following their most recent adventure throughout the sands. So, truly and truthfully, you hold with you great sway and decisions to make. And I can't wait to see what you do with such things as you ascend. Welcome home, my Seekers. And with that, we'll call it a wrap. So, I don't think I can raid... Oh, wait, is he live? No, hold on, canceled. Penguin's not live. Oh, he was live for a second. I was going to raid him, because he's trying to get to the thingamajig. Darn it. Okay. Let's see here. Ah, I had already set up in chat and everything. Bummer. Okay. Is anyone live? Hold on. I'm losing my mind, guys. There we go. Okay, yeah. Sofu is live. We'll raid Sofu. Seems good. All right. For a second, it was 40 minutes. I don't know, man. I don't read stuff. I opened my thing just to raid you. All right. Well, I stream for multiple hours at a time, you punk nerd. Anyway, thank you guys for checking in with us. Watching us. For anyone who stayed up the whole time to do so, you're an absolute champion. I know we had to run over about 30 minutes or so, so hopefully that went well. Lots of stuff moving forward. Big new enterprising things for the Seekers of Galanti to decide and come to terms with. But we don't have to worry about that. We're going to have some downtime for the players this week, and they're finally home. And they might actually have money for once. Isn't that weird? Crazy. As always, guys, I've been Kareem Zamir. They've been the Seekers of Galanti. This has been Second Wake. We'll see you next time, next Monday. Peace out.